here. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, it says we're live. I hope we're live. Hola, hola. This is so exciting. So I'm so happy that you guys are here. Hello, Lucille and Sylvia. Lisa Cat. And Ariana. Hi, beautiful. Ariana's going to come to the Avalon retreat. I can't wait to see you and play with you in person. Ariana is a gorgeous goddess woman and taking people to wonderful retreats. And this is our part two, so to speak, of the Soul Lineages live readings that I did 2 days ago. So we tend to go for at least an hour and a half, and I will do whatever Spirit says to get us into this gorgeous space. So always beforehand, I am activating my light body. I'm doing my magic. I'm setting up my altar. I'm talking to all of the spirits and really calling in the energies of that I work with all the time, but also any energies that are really active today and for us and for our group. So what we have is soul lineages are is kind of a new term that I started using a few months ago. And it's a soul family, but it's also past lives, if you want to call it that. It's everything exists at once. You have many, many lives, and they all already exist. So, in fact, what we're doing is not learning, we are remembering. We are selecting from our vast experience of our soul that has lived in many, many ages, many, many stars, many planets. And so you might have a soul lineage. I know that everybody here has been on many star systems. However, what might come through might be in a different star system, as well as might be ancient Egypt or ancient Mayan, Incan, who knows, Inuit, and Lakota Sioux is one of the shaman, one of the cultures I studied shamanism in. And hi, Joy, was my shaman. And all across, right, all across the Americas, we're learning, we're waking up that we were told a false history, that the Europeans came and they discovered the country and they civilized people. And what they really did was take all their stuff, erase their culture, call them savages when they were actually more advanced. They had more people living here in the Mayan land and many places than even in Europe at the time. And then we have also the cultures that were erased, like the Celts. The Celts were all across Europe, all the way into even the Slavic countries. And most people just think of it as Ireland or Scotland. And they were all through England as well. And they have a lot of interesting ancient DNA coming forward now with our new technology that you can test for a bigger, pool of DNA that you could find out about more ancient DNA. I'm waiting for the Fae DNA, because I have this body has a Celtic, German, Scotch, Irish lineage, and they recently has become very important for me to pay attention to my body lineage, which I've never done before because I'm adopted. So it wasn't like, oh, grandma did this, and I've never been around a family that's like me. I have a lovely adoptive family that I lived with my whole life. I was adopted at birth, and my daughter Jordan died, and then I adopted twins. So I have this very interesting structure to my life that I didn't realize until I got deeper and deeper on my spiritual path and discovering energy and quantum physics, and then vibrational healing and energy healing, and going deeper and deeper into the abilities that I had naturally but didn't understand, remembering other lives, being able to see energies, see what's going on for you, for me. And so what happens with any kind of intuitive is you never give your power away, okay? Even anything that I tell you, this is offered to you. Ooh, it was 10:10 a second ago. This is offered to you because I am a channel, so to speak, right? I have spent almost 38 years working on becoming a clear and open channel for the highest good of all concerned, which means that I don't get involved with thinking about what you are, or worrying if I'm saying the right thing to you, or if I know what I'm doing. I've been doing so much work with myself and others like you for so long now that I surrender into it. I totally trust what comes through. It's absolutely mind-blowing what happens in my private sessions and in the Intuition Awakening class and with the Soul Lineage sessions and in the retreats. And so I love being in a place where I completely trust, okay, that I completely trust what's coming through. And part of that is because I was trained in several mystery schools, and as a Melchizedek master, as well as a shamanic healer, I travel to find the pieces of your soul. But I never go in and say, we're doing a past life regression, or we're going to find your soul and where the trauma started. I leave that up to spirit. I leave that up to you, to your higher self. And I create the container. So I just want you to know, welcome, Akasha here, Nan Akasha. And at the shop here, shop.nanakasha.com, you will find meditations. You'll find free things like the scale of consciousness, which I highly recommend that you get because it's so revealing, and different statements that are very empowering. You've got the chart of the rays of creation, the 12 rays of creation, also very relevant because a lot of people tend to say, oh, I saw a particular color, and they only reference maybe it was a blue color. So maybe it was a throat chakra thing. And we are all waking up to our voice. We're also waking up to connecting the above and the below, right? The physical and the heart and the head again, the antenna, the higher antenna and the pineal and then the third eye and all of that good stuff. So it's so wonderful to be able to talk about this to a lot of people who understand this now, because for many years there was no internet, but there was also very few people who were schooled or understood this. So we're waking up very, very fast. And there's a lot of gifts there. There's a lot of meditations there, very affordable. There's the Intuition Awakening Summer Camp that's coming up. So I highly, highly recommend you join this. Why? Because my students, I think this is the 4th year that we've done this. And what happens is that you come into the space. I don't care if you've never tried to be intuitive in your whole life, or you don't even understand what it is, or if you've been doing this for 30 years and you are like, I'm a master. You always have a new level of truth to go to. And right now we're waking up super fast. And all the barriers to our growth, to our evolution, to our wisdom, to our intuitive senses, to the truth that we were told, which is a lie, and on, is blasting open. So we have to become masters very quickly, because you could get sucked into the world of hell. You could get sucked into the drama and the story of negativity. And in my mastermind yesterday, we ended up, this isn't normal. We go about 2 hours, usually 2.5 hours. We ended up doing about 5 hours because a few of the ladies were there. We just were having so much fun chatting about what's happening with the information that's coming forward, the alternative researchers, the people who are realizing that the dating on many of these ancient sites is a lie as well, that they're not 2000 BC, they're more like 5, 6, 10, 20, 30,000 years old and before. And why is that something that's been hidden? Well, one, there was no reliable science and technology. And two, the powers that be, people who want to keep their job in the scientific community or at a university, they don't want to come out with something controversial. And yet those doors are blasting open. So the truth is being revealed within you and within the world and within the earth. And the purging, you know, one of the things we discussed last night was this purging that's happening. Why is all this hate and violence and lies, like people just going bold-faced lying now? We've become so mature in understanding that you can't just go, oh, well, it was in the newspaper, so it must be true. I mean, I literally remember there was a time when that was the way people thought. And if you think of who you were 5, 10, even 20 years ago, of course, before that, how dense was the consciousness? We have a platform. We've moved into a new house, so to speak. We've moved to the top of the Mayan pyramid, the state of unity, the 9th wave of consciousness, which means we can reunite now with these other parts of us, with other times, with other spaces, with other wisdom schools, with other mystery schools, with other powers that we have. And there's no such thing as space, between us. And I had to learn this a really long time ago because I got into vibrational medicine very early on. I started to do animal healing, animal communication. I started to work with Linda Tellington Jones, who's an energy healer that was specifically working with animals at the time. And then we started to apply it to humans. And through her, I met all these amazing people. I began to learn radionics, which is kind of like rife, if you're familiar with that, which basically goes down to everything is vibration, and we can express it in numbers. So I have books and books and books and books with the vibration of everything from a healthy liver to penicillin to the color red to your ideal chakras and on and on and on. And we were sending this and testing people who were on the other side of the planet. So I had to move past any barrier, any limit that I believed kept me from being able to understand you or connect to you or know how to heal you or know what to send you if you weren't in the room with me. And I know that there's a beauty to being together. It's why I do the retreats. There's power to being in person together. When we come together, we create a vibration that's completely unique based on the people in the group and the place that we are at and the time that we're there and the moment, the alignment of the stars and the planets, the energies in the earth come up at different times differently. They activate the ley lines and the currents and the geospirals and the stones, whether it's a stone circle or a pyramid or a temple or a cathedral. They're all there living, right? And so if we're releasing a lot of hatred, and this has been happening for years, I've been doing sessions with clients for years now, where I started to coin the phrase probably 8 or 10 years ago called burned at the stake syndrome, meaning the fear of being psychic, the fear of being a healer, the fear of doing spiritual work, the fear of even divination, even something simple like oracle cards, right? So, like these are my oracle cards that we're getting ready to offer to you with a class. And these are forms of communication. It means divine communication is what divination means. And yet we've had laws against it in countries. There's still countries in Africa that have a law on the books that says you cannot perform divination. We've had sacred texts like the Bible that say you cannot do it. Why? Is it evil? Is it evil to see an eagle come over 3 times and go, wow, I think that means something? Is it evil to have a synchronicity and follow it and call that person and suddenly they hire you and you have the money to pay rent? No, there's nothing evil about it at all. What happened in the past was that we were not allowed to connect directly to our inner authority, to our intuitive pathways, to our senses. We're full of senses, we're full of receptors, and those are awakening. And whatever point you've come to in your path of awakening, this is the moment of massive quantum leaps, and there's no way to avoid it. So you could have quantum leaps, not understand them, not get guidance for them, not believe in yourself, and then you're in a phase of struggle. Because if you keep believing the outside world, you can see now there's too much information, and the information that's coming in now needs high levels of discernment. What does that mean? That means you can't just turn on your phone and look at Facebook or look at something or open up emails or listen to the news. Please don't do that, because it's manufactured. Okay. They might be talking about a fact. Okay. These people did this thing, but how they're telling you is manipulated, right? There's an understanding now at a high level in all places of authority, whether it's church, government, news, media, or whatever, to people selling their shit, right? To understand how to speak to you, to torque your emotion, to keep you stressed, to keep you like, oh my God, I need a solution. Oh my, they have it, they have it, they have it. I want to tell you, you have the solution. The solution is inside of you. And there is no one else, including me, that can tell you what to do. It's information that you bring in. And then what I want to do with you, whether you're in my mastermind, whether you come to the retreat, whether you go to the Intuition Awakening School, whether you do a soul lineage session with me, whatever it is, even just do one of the meditations. I'm just finishing up the music on a magical manifesting meditation. And of course, you can get it in the shop. It'll be about $15. However, there's going to be a period of time that if you are interested in one of my retreats, I'm going to work with people around of manifestation. And because I can't tell you how many people have come to my retreats who literally have nothing. They don't own a house, they don't have a job. And I had one lady who manifested 5 retreats over about 8 years. She came to 5 different retreats and literally kept manifesting it because she listened within and she knew that her soul was being called forward, and she didn't shut the door. Oh, I can't do that because of my kids. Oh, I can't do that because of my spouse. Oh, I can't do that because of my job. Oh, I can't do that because of the credit, because of the money, because of this, blah, 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 blah. All of that stuff is a lie. It's not truth. It is your current reality that you were conditioned into and that you project. Now is a time that your reality is going to be falling apart really fast, and you're going to be like, well, I'm confused and I don't know, and that doesn't work anymore. No, it doesn't. The old way of doing things doesn't work anymore. We're never going back to that way of being. And the bigger picture is you've got to learn to listen to your inner voice. It's the only truth there is. Now, is it infallible? No, because you were taught not to do it. You were taught to be afraid of it. And then you made decisions in other lives when you died, usually, or you were betrayed, or your heart was broken, or someone stole your money, or you were killed, or you were tortured because you were psychic, or you were a healer, or you were a woman, or you were wealthy, or you were a king. And suddenly there was a revolution and they said, no more kings. And they chopped your head off. So you've had all these experiences. You've been the cruel person and you've been the innocent victim, quote unquote. And all it is a story of experience. However, the pain and the emotion of being in a physical body is so intense that we forget. And we've just been through 26,000 years where our planet goes way, way, way away from the light into the darkness, and we're now back. That's why we're at the place of unity. This is not going to happen again. It has never happened before. You cannot be certain about who you're becoming, what you're doing. So you want to let go of that need that we were conditioned into to be responsible, to understand. Take care of yourself first. Start to unhook from everyone else's beliefs, from your being over obligated, overwhelmed, over whatever. Come in, be calm. The present moment is massive. When you start to learn to be right here in the present moment, it's infinite. You could go to any life, any space, any time. You could go access the wisdom you had as a priestess of Athena at Delphi. You could go remember when you were an oracle or a seer or a medicine woman. You could go and remember when you were an engineer or a scientist, or you were a gardener in Atlantis. I had usually at my retreats here, we go to pyramids and there's always some kind of Atlantis connection. Because most cultures were seeded from Atlantis. Atlantis was the culture that had mastered technology and heart and the ability to generate fields of consciousness that kept high. However, the same thing happened. They knew, all these cultures knew, we have to encode this information into the pyramids, into the walls. We have to create these generators that are pyramids and other vortexes, because they would communicate around the world. And there was infinite electricity, infinite information. We could open time portals in the stone circles, which is what we're going to be doing in Avebury on the retreat. We're going to be working with these ancient circles and with the earth energies and all the understanding the sacred feminine places versus the cleansing stone versus this stone aligns your chakras. And we've got Maria Wheatley, who's an incredible woman, become a really good friend and a mentor now for me. And she's on Gaia TV and BBC TV and History Channel and all these places, because she's a second generation dowser who has been raised in earth energies, talking to Gaia. She's a druid. She's a Celtic. She's very aligned to her Celtic lineage. And so this is what we're looking for, that blend of understanding, using technology and not using it to tell lies or to try to hold things the way they were, but to keep opening the doors of truth. And so I love the quote from Rumi that says, you'll never know the whole truth. You only know the truth you're currently in. This is paraphrased, of course. And then once you learn that truth, once you understand it, once you embody it, a new truth opens, a new door opens. So you might have new doors opening. You might be having vivid dreams. I've been having the crazy, most vivid dreams. I've been working with the infinite field and moving into space-time, which is different than into time-space, which is just different than space-time. And what that means is that When you operate in Newtonian physics the way we were raised, you think it's going to take a long time to make money. You think it's going to take a long time to get from here to there. And yet the truth is there's no space. There's no difference. So when I started to work with healing people and animals around the world, I got the proof to help my doubt that I'm testing this dog or this person who's across the planet, and I have a chart now of every system in their body, from subtle bodies and chakras and liver and blood and everything, of 0 to 100. And you get this chart and you can see where they're vibrating. Well, are their chakras blocked? Then their glands aren't producing the proper hormones. And if you're not producing serotonin, you're not getting melatonin, which turns into DMT, which helps open your pineal, which helps you become more connected and harmonious psychic with other realms. And that's your nature. It is not weird. It's not just some people, it's your nature. So when you come to the intuition awakening, that's exactly what it is. And we're going to really focus on the idea of divination. We're going to work with the old contracts and the fears that live within you. Maybe you don't know where they are, but they might be in your mind. That's a body. You have a subtle body of a mind. You have a subtle body of an emotion. This is your power center, but it's so full of fear and soul contracts and vows and agreements and karmic knots that say, oh, don't do that. Oh, this is scary. When I first got called into the goddess world, I kept going to the bookstore. And this was when there were just barely any books about this in a bookstore, and way pre-internet. And I was like, oh, this is so interesting. And then I would start reading the book and I'd get sick to my stomach and I'd put it back and I would leave. And then maybe 6 months later, I would get drawn back again. And that's how intuition works. I went into real estate investing because 7 nights in a row, I walked into the bedroom where my ex-husband was sleeping, and he loved TV. He was raised with TV. It was on 24/7 in his house, and he literally needed the TV on to go to sleep. Luckily, he went to sleep early. I went to sleep late. I would stay at the other end of the house, do my thing until late at night, do my magic, do whatever, work on looking for properties to buy or so on. And I would come into the bedroom to get something, and this infomercial was on about becoming a real estate investor. I'd never even heard of such a thing. And it was all like, you can own yachts. And I was all like, oh, how stupid is that thing, right? I didn't believe a word of it. I thought it was stupid. And here's the thing. I was raised that anything sold on TV, I was not allowed to have. I never got to have the ballerina doll because there was something wrong with it. And you don't believe people selling anything on an infomercial. I think it's probably a very good idea right now. However, I felt so drawn to it. 7 nights in a row, I went in different times of the night. It wasn't at the same time. Whenever they were playing this infomercial on this channel that he was watching, they were playing it at different times. And I would see a different part of it. And I would stop and watch a few minutes. And then I would stop and watch a few more minutes until I pretty much probably saw the whole thing. And I went from like, this is stupid, laughing at it, what a scam, to like, wow, this is interesting. Why am I interested in it? To buying it, to having my 2-hour conversation with the poor salesman because I knew that my husband at the time was going to freak out. It was $5,000. It wasn't that we were poor. I put it on a credit card. He didn't like spending money, and he didn't speak to me for 2 months. And we had tiny little babies. Okay. So this was about 25 years ago. And at that time, we had twins and we were functioning, and he literally did not speak a word to me for 2 months. In 2 months, I learned everything. I couldn't consume it enough. I couldn't explain why I wanted to do it. I didn't have a clue what it was, really. I learned it all. I went to the seminars. I started to do it. I bought 5 houses in 1 week, and I flipped one of them without buying it and closing it. I sold it to another investor that I met who became a very dear friend of mine and made $10,000. So within 2 months, I made back that $5,000 and I made $5,000. And my husband still didn't want to speak to me until a few days later when I said, oh, well, I guess it's okay. But his thing was, I thought you were going to spend more time with me. Now the kids, and this and that, and all these reasons of his fear. So I had to continuously choose my intuitive guidance over someone I loved who was pissed off at me and putting a lot of passive aggressive pressure on me, maybe not so passive. And so what is happening now is 10 times that. If you're feeling called, if you're getting messages, if 3 times in one day somebody I mentioned Paramahansa Yogananda, who was one of my very first teachers. I was initiated into Kriya Yoga, which is the self-realization foundation, very early on my path. And I didn't really understand what I was being gifted with, to be honest. And I mentioned it to someone recently, and they were like, wow, you're the third person today to mention that book, Autobiography of a Yogi. Maybe I better go look at it. So it's like, do you see angel numbers? That's divination. Do you use oracle cards? Do you think the weather is speaking to you? Do you have people say certain things? Do you see posters when you're driving down the road and make you think about someone? Are you walking around doing your manifesting like, okay, I know I'm meant to go on this retreat, and I'm ready and willing and open and receptive to see what's the pathway for me. So your soul lineages, your other lives that are relevant are one, for the wounds and the agreements you made when you were dying in another life and you were like, oh my God, I did a horrible thing by using my voice or using my healing. I was killed for it. My family was hurt. Something happened that you felt it's not worth having money. I'm never having money again. And when you make that agreement, I call it that vow, that soul contract, it is embedded in your soul with great, great emotion. And it becomes a really important little nugget that sits there and beams out from you. No money, no money, no money, no money, money's dangerous, money's. And then you come into this life and you're like, why can't I make any money? Why can't I get a raise? Why every time I start some project, something happens? Why am I afraid to ask for money? Why am I afraid to speak up and get a raise? Why am I married to somebody who controls all the money and tells me I have no value? Because of some kind of agreement that you made with yourself. Because when you came into this life, we didn't know it in the beginning, but this life was a pinnacle life. We can tell right now. This is a rare moment. We are all being gifted a huge opportunity to understand ourselves, to go to a higher level of consciousness, to enter the state of unity. And because we're in the age of Aquarius now, that is high tech, high tech. Like the tech is not to take over, okay? So stop feeding these kind of fears. The tech is there to help us, to relieve you from mundane tasks and to free you to tune into your senses, to become your own inner authority. So you learn to become a clear and open channel with me. You learn to tune into things and not start to judge them and analyze them with your big brain. You've got to get your big brain some other job to do while you allow your sacred feminine, your divine goddess, your divine intuitive pathways, your intuitive network, your higher self, your body elemental, to connect to your angels or to your guardian dragons or to the crystals or to some of the lineages that you've had. So in the beginning, when I first started to do hypnosis, I became a master level hypnosis because I was just blown away at what I saw it do for people to get past their fear of, asking people to hire them or asking, for money or to buy a house or to whatever it was. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if you can do that, then we can do anything. That means our mind is programmable and reprogrammable, and that our mind doesn't necessarily see the truth or know the truth. And that is the truth, is there's a reality right there that you don't see, that you have programs, that you have beliefs, that you have fears that prevent you from even knowing that this person sitting next to you on the plane is your next best friend or has an opportunity for you that you've been looking for your whole life, or could be the client that you're looking for, or could be your soulmate. All right. Because of those beliefs, you control your reality. You control what you exude, and you control what you see, and you control what you believe about what you see. Oh, that didn't mean anything. Do you shove off? Do you just go, well, I thought that, or I got that guidance, but I'm going to go do this practical thing because that's what I was taught, or that's what my family wants. One of my clients recently said to me, well, I want to do this, but my husband and my mother wants me to do this. And I said, what do you want? I'm not saying to disrespect the people in your life. Take in the advice, but then stop letting everyone else tell you how to run your life, because you're the only one here living your life. All right. You're the only one in your head that can change what you think, what you make it mean, where you look. Do you look at heaven? Do you look at hell? Are you looking at potential? Are you joining groups like this? Are you coming and having a mentor like me that says, look, I will tell you the truth, but I'm never going to judge you because I've been through all the shit and I've remembered so many of my lives and I've connected to so many of the powers in my other lives that it's ridiculous not to literally allow myself to access those powers, select and choose those powers now, and not worry that I have to go through a whole new thing. It's different. So the Intuition Awakening School is awakening your powers you already have, connecting you to the lives that have wisdom and wounds. So in the beginning, we would see this is, well, I have a 20 some, it was before that even. 30 years ago or so. And I started to do hypnosis sessions with people and they would go to a past life, but we never went in with the intention to go to a past life. I didn't even know I believed in past lives for a long time. I was like, I don't know, that sounds like too good to be true. And now I just, oh my gosh, I see it all the time. My clients just go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. When you have that experience, you know. When someone tells you, so I'm going to do readings for you today, like we did the other day, and I'm going to see what comes through. I'm a clear and open channel. I've already activated the light body healing, the infinity healing chamber. I've already connected to the highest good of all concern. I've already done all of my own sacred work to make sure that I am not going to be like, oh, I want to make this, or I'm worried about what you think. I'm not worried about what you think. I'm a clear and open channel. I am not going to try to please you. I'm not going to try to prove anything to you. And I am here to literally be a conduit for what is optimal for your highest good at this time. And this is what I teach you. When you come and work with me in any of these ways, you're going to learn to constantly clear yourself, connect to your highest good, what is optimal for you at this time. It isn't the time to know everything. If your ego wants something and you're craving it, then you're at a very low state of consciousness, and it is going to keep you in disappointment. It's going to keep you enslaved. That's why you want to get the scale of consciousness. It's going to keep you stuck in a certain mindset that keeps projecting that mindset forward. Oh, I never have any luck. Oh, this will never change. Every time I tried this in the past, it didn't work. Blah, blah, blah. It's all lies. It's all bullshit. The past does not determine your future. What determines your future is your willingness to listen to your own inner voice, to not judge yourself, to not beat yourself up, to not bully yourself, to not let other people tell you you're not good enough, to not believe anything you were told in the conditioning realms outside of how magnificent you are. And that, yes, sometimes we need a little kick in the butt spiritually. You better be spending some time with yourself. You better be listening to spirit. You better be activating your light body. You better be cleansing yourself before and after you go into any place. Go into work, you just go in there naked. You just go in there naked and go, and have a bunch of knives thrown at you. That's what you're doing energetically. Okay, so I've created so many classes and so many things in order to help you, like the energy cleanses is in the shop. And if you go get that, it's all these different ways to create a sphere of light or a pillars of light, or work with Archangel Michael or different entities to create a sphere around you, around anyone. You could do it through time, through space, it doesn't matter. So we always started to remember the wounds and the why. The lives with the wounds, well, they were speaking to us big time because we could relate. Wow, I remembered this life. So a very important life that still really is just so telling was early on. I had a woman who wanted to come to one of my early retreats, and she had created her life. She was well educated. She was given awards at her job. She was paid very well, about $150,000, and this was a decent number of years ago. But the money went directly into a bank account that her husband controlled. She did not even have an ATM card. She had no credit cards. He was extremely controlling, extremely traditional, in her culture, controlling man who lived in the paradigm that you're a woman. You just go do your thing, but you don't get access to the money. I make the decisions. So she had chosen that, whether she realized it or not at the time, that she had chosen that a way of making money and being well educated, but she was never getting a raise. She tried to go get other jobs, never got them. Why? It makes no sense logically at all. She tried to start 3 businesses, nothing worked, and she finally found me. And when she found me, she started to talk to me about wanting to come to the retreat because it was called the Spirit of Money. And it was about that idea of understanding the energies that we carry around our value and our worth and our self-image and what we believe money or value is, and if we deserve it, and what we've been told, and the vows and things we carry from these other lives. So what happened was I did something like this. I did a group online. It was back when there was only the phone. There was no video, and she contacted me right afterwards, and I guided people through some kind of a process. And I channel all my processes. None of these are scripted. I do know in the Intuition Awakening School, we're going to do this. First activation is going to be freeing ourselves from any of those vows that say, don't be psychic, don't be a healer, don't trust your intuition, don't listen to your inner voice. Through any life, through any time, whether it was being burned at the stake, having your head chopped off, your family being killed, helping people who betrayed you, whatever it is, okay, even all the way to now, I have clients who have to practice their spirituality secretly from their family or their spouse or their children for fear of being, some kind of retribution, being outcast, being ridiculed, being humiliated, on and on and on. It just goes on. People are still doing it now. So this is the time we wake up to that. And when you take those bars off, you are going to be blown away when we start to do the practice, when you see yourself inside of the sacred space I create, how easy it is for you to see things and get the feedback that you're correct, that you are seeing it. So it's going to be super, super fun. It's going to be super, super profound. And it has been a quantum leap for everybody who's ever been in it. Usually people continue to come to my retreats or to my mastermind or to my other classes because there's one lady in my mastermind right now who said, 3 years ago, I did the Intuition Awakening summer camp. I can't imagine what my life would be if I hadn't done it. It changed everything. The way she looks now, she looks about 20 years younger. She used to be very gray, very depressed, single mother, full of the idea of poverty and not good enough and just struggling through life and not believing in possibilities. And now she's vibrant and alive. And we just did a session together where she went and had a girl that was in this life that was a bully to her that she went and trusted, who then kind of, she trusted and started to become a bad girl. And then that group of people who had taken her in as one of theirs then betrayed her. And this was a pattern that has repeated in many of her lives. And what came through in the session was her and this girl had an agreement through lives over and over and over to do this for each other. So she had done it for her. And their agreement was because don't ever let anyone know that you're positive and help people. And she's like, I want to help people. I want to be good. And this person would ridicule her for being a goody two shoes. So she went through a period where she was afraid to be good, to be nice to people. She was like, I have to be bad. I have to be. And then that betrayal triggered something where she couldn't be friends with other women. And now she's in a group of women. And she's just renewed for this year. And she went to them and told them the breakthrough that she had. And she says, I've just been walking around the last 3 days like, I'm free. I don't have any of the feelings I had before. I can think differently. I can perceive differently. I can perceive opportunities. Money's coming to her, opportunities for money, opportunities for her business, things she's never thought of before that were always there in the infinite field. So the fun thing is we get to operate from that. You get to operate from your divine intuition, and you get to communicate to your other lives, your other lineages, and whether they're from this body's DNA or any other, you have spiritual DNA as well. And you brought a lot of these wounds. The wounds are in common. They explain, oh, that's why I don't speak up. So this woman had a breakthrough because she went to a life in that session, the lady that I told you about who was not able to access money. And now she wanted to come to my retreat, but of course her husband wouldn't pay for it, even though she made more money than him, I think. And he was like, no, I'm not paying for that. You don't get to do what you want. And so she was trying to figure out how to make the money for it. She was trying to figure out how to get free from this bind she was in and to understand it. She told me that from age 3, she was afraid to touch money. She wouldn't even take like an allowance or a gift. It felt like it burned her fingers. And in this session, she went to a life in medieval times where she was well educated and wealthy, very similar pattern as now. However, her family and the local authorities wanted her land, wanted her money, so they just threw her in jail, a horrible medieval jail, and they just left her there for a long time and eventually chopped her head off. She didn't have a trial. There was no fairness. Nobody cared. Nobody loved her. She was never explained. There was no such thing as justice. And when she died, her vow was money equals killing. Why on earth would I ever want any again? And so that vow followed her through life after life until it culminated in this life. And this was before we really started to accelerate. So everything you've done in this life has completed. Hi, Stacy Jam. Oh, one day I will make one of your treats. Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Well, I see everything flowing for you. I have so many women who are wanting a divorce. Some of them, they've been separated for 18 years, but the other side doesn't want to pay or do anything. One lady just discovered a way to get a free one. We've got it down to an affordable amount, and then we got it to free. Okay. Another lady just discovered a way for it to be paid for through some of the benefits. So the paths are opening. So I know it's going to happen for you because it's time for you to be liberated, and it's time for you to be free from any of that being really part of your reality in you. And so she said, your intuition awakening course and others Nan is the best at holding space and opening the energy for people to connect with their higher selves and guides. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah, I know. Lisa, thank you, Stacy Jam. I love Nan's work too. She's amazing. Her Sacred Spirit Circle is beautiful. Hi, Glenda Ray. Yes, thank you, Lisa, for bringing it. So that's another thing you'll find in the shop, and it's only $26 a month. So please come and join that group. We meet twice a month. We do all kinds of channeling. We do oracle cards. We do whatever is up. And right now, this month, we're working with the goddess and the great goddess and everything. So would love anything you can share with me, of course. Let's see here. Where's my pen? Let's get started. So first, I know Sylvia was here, and she was here the other day, so I feel very called to her. And Stacy Jam. There we go. Now let me go back and say hi to everybody. Oh, Lisa Cat. Man is amazing. The course is incredible. You're so sweet. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it, not for me, but for other people, because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of people selling. I'm not really good at hardcore selling. I really don't want to do it. And I want to, but it helps, to have other people say, this changed my life, and this beautiful lady who is having these breakthroughs now, she didn't have the money then to get in the course, and yet she manifested it. So reach out to me if you have. I've had people who are doing psychic work on a regular basis. It is their full-time income now, who when they first came to my course and then did the certification for the intuitive readings, they had to reach out and ask for a special payment plan because they didn't have, and there's these payment plans, and there's a big sale right now. And if you come to the retreat, you get it even 50% off. So there's a lot of ways to do this. And I really believe in everybody needing to connect to that inner voice. Lisa, she's been very powerful in multiple lifetimes and is being asked to tap into this lifetime as well. Anubis appeared recently. Can you provide clarity? Okay, good, Lisa. Lisa, or Lisa Cat. I really want to call you El Cat, maybe Cat Girl, Gatito. And Anubis. Anubis is wonderful. Anubis, if you don't know, is an Egyptian god, and looks like a jackal or a black dog. Let's see. Claire clarified for me when she began meditating, her first true connection showed her she was a ruler in ancient Egypt. It was vivid and clear and reminded her that she's extremely powerful. Exactly. That's what happens, is these kinds of things give you a window, an opening into a part of you that is not in your linear reality, that is not going to come up when you're dealing with speeding tickets and paying the electricity bill. And of course, you have to do all that stuff and feeding your children and whatever else you have to do. Take care of your body, take care of your brain. Don't eat shit food. Don't feed your mind shit food. Don't feed your mind violence. Don't feed your mind bullies. Don't believe anything outside of you until you start to be able to pass it through your inner truth. Okay. Um, Lucille, my love, my friend is here. Oh, and having tech difficulties with the live chat. Her name is Claire. Let me just write that down, Claire. I know I'm kind of going backwards up through this. Egyptian. Well, and I'm going to write down Egyptian, but like I told you, I've learned, and I want you to really take this on and understand this, that what happens is we want to go, wow, I really feel called to Egypt. And that on a conscious level is something that you can do, that you can connect to by reading and researching or getting oracle cards about, Egypt, or talking to Thoth, or a lot of our Isis here. I was like, where's my other Bast? This is an incredible healer right here. Little Gatito Bast, and pure healer. She's another aspect of Sekhmet, the lion. And so that might come up for Claire. And yet, if it doesn't mean it's wrong. And I never go and try to force it. If someone comes and say, I want to know what to do with my husband, or I want to know what to do about my job, I'll be like, okay, put that in the energy. However, I'm not going to take my brain and try to figure it out. I'm going to become a clear conduit for you. And I'm going to teach you how to do this so that you can access information you would never have thought of. And then you'll know that you're getting true intuitive guidance, because you're like, that was one of my truth testing things. Back in the beginning, I'd be like 2 days after a really profound experience, I would be like, I must have made that up. I didn't have the level of experience or the trust, and I was in a much denser reality than we are now. And what happened was I would eventually go, I would never have thought that up. I don't even know how to think that up. I do sessions with people that absolutely still blow me away. I get the gift of it. I understand a new level of who we are and what kinds of things happen. And this woman came to my retreat with the money and was able to then get a raise and move on with other areas of her life. Now, does it make it easier if you have to go home and tell your husband or your mother or your boss that you're no longer going to be that person? It's not easy when you change. And yet I want to tell you that there is nothing more important than your spiritual growth. There's nothing more important than you accessing your inner voice, and that the governments, high paid corporate executives, the church, the priest kings of the past, they all understood that if you understood the subtle realms, if you could read the signs, if you could travel, if you could open time portals, if you could understand the energies and sit with them and communicate with them, then you could be a better leader. You could understand how to create the best decisions for what was happening in the world, for your land or your people or your family or your culture, or you could manipulate it. Of course, everything can be used to harm or to heal. So nanakasha.com/Avalon is the retreat. And on that retreat page is an opt-in. This is fairly new. So if you've already looked at it, go back again, opt in. You're going to get this free meditation on manifesting. And I've been repeating it to listen for, the sound level. I create the music to match and all this kind of stuff to channel. And I'm going to do one more pass today, and then I will put it up there. And then I'll also let you know about other sacred retreats and any other manifesting classes that I'm going to be sharing. So, Glenda Ray, let's see here. What else have we got? Monica, hi, Monica. I think I did a reading for you the other day. I love being here and being able to talk with y'all, of you openly about all of this, right, Kat? A family friend of mine recently mentioned she believed she is Egyptian. Patty, hi, Patty. Hi. Thank you for being here for us and sharing your amazing gifts. Do you have any messages for me? Oh, I'm so excited. It says, Patty McCollum. I'm thinking you got a little Celtic lineage there. Also, a beautiful class you did with Catherine on day 2 of her Breaking Free workshop. Oh, good. I'm glad you saw that. Yes, it's really fun. And I do want to let you guys know that I am starting a new TV show, and it's on Gnostic TV, Gnostic TV. And the really exciting thing is, I'll let you guys all know where to find it. It's going to launch, I think, on the 25th. And I'm going to still be here doing things here live. That one is going to be recorded. However, there will be more coming. There'll be a live aspect to it. And it's kind of like Gaia TV, where it's a subscription. However, they're going to air my show for the first 3 months free. So make sure you check it out, because we're going to be doing some really exciting things, and it's going to be called Sacred Magic. Turtle friends, dragonflies, monarch butterflies. Oh my gosh, how wonderful. Reptilian, very interesting question. Reptilian, this is a very interesting thing. Portal to Ascension, Neil at Portal to Ascension. I'm going to be speaking at his conference. I'm going to be on his Dragon online conference. I'm going to be speaking live in Avalon and Glastonbury at that. Ariana's going to be there too. And there's a really interesting conversation that he's doing around the reptilians. Are they good or are they bad? Because we've generally been told they're bad. And that is really interesting to say about anything. Is something you were told was evil really evil or not? Lisa Hilmer, oh my goodness, how wonderful to see you. Lisa has been in a lot of my classes. I miss you, beautiful girl. Oh my gosh. Oh, everybody, I love you so much. I'm not sure which soul lineage I'm connected to. Lucille. Lucille is one of the most creative and dynamic women you will ever meet. She's full of dragonflies, and I can't hear you guys on this platform. So I apologize that there's not a back and forth that's verbal. However, in the classes, I want to assure you, we will be on Zoom, and you will be talking, and I will be, telling you and helping clarify what you get. And after we do the activation, we share. And then when we do the, readings, for lack of a better word, I'm watching you. I help you if you need help initially. I have an amazing client who's been emailing me for 2 months. When's the class? When's the class? I want to make sure I don't miss it. She's been to many of my classes, and she's been trained in 5-year school, energy medicine school, not mine. And yet she still came to the intuition. She did the certification to become an intuitive reader. And then she kept feeling, and a lot of people feel this way, like, well, it's easier for me to say, like, I'm an energy healer or an emotion code person or whatever. People understand that. And it's true. It's hard to explain, well, what's an intuitive healer? What's an intuitive reader? But she's now finding that when she goes in to do her other work, that all of that kind of disappears, and her intuitive pathways, the way I've taught her, just start opening up, and she's just receiving all kinds of information, and her sessions have just blown out of the charts, right? And what happens is that she started out being, in the class, she would be like, okay, please do, with Lucille, okay, pair up with Lucille, and we're all holding space, and we've created this beautiful, incredible chamber. And she's like, I don't see anything. I don't feel anything. And I said, okay, just sit with it. I'm still not seeing anything. I say, well, nothing is something. And so what is it? Well, it's nothing. I'm not getting anything. I said, well, what is your expectation of what you're supposed to be getting, right? This is what we have to become clear of, to be a clear channel and to not infect the information coming through. You can't use your logical mind when you're doing intuitive work. You need to wait till later to maybe look at it from a logical perspective and go, oh, look at how this connects, or look at what this is telling me, or whatever. But when you're in the intuitive pathway, you don't want to cross it. So I said, well, is it nothing like black space? Or she said, oh no, it's just white, just plain white. All I see is white. Oh, okay. Well, white, is it nothing? Is it a white canvas? Is it a white wall? And so I'm there to help you start to understand. Well, what happened was it's a white canvas, I think it was, or it's a white wall, it was a canvas. Because I was like, well, what does a white canvas mean? 0 point? Does it mean going back to the beginning? Does it mean you are full of potential? You're at a new beginning? You see how the symbolism, the understanding then of the intuition that you receive is a whole other level of understanding, right? So we get the intuitive guidance, and then we have to not try to force it into a meaning and let that rise within us. So then this happened to her several more times, and she was all frustrated. Why am I still saying just blank? Until I finally told her, this is you. This is how you start. How cool is it to know that you always start with a blank slate? How cool is it to know is that that's something in another life, most likely, that you already know what to do. I always start with a blank slate. So now she doesn't judge it. She doesn't get distracted by it. She doesn't get out of her intuitive pathway going, why am I not seeing anything? When you do that, you're not in your intuitive flow. Then you're trying to force something because you think people are waiting for you. And now you're thinking about everyone else instead of being the clear channel. So lots of really exciting things happen. Mayan, American, Indian, Atlantis, Egypt. I know, Sylvia, you and I have been together so many times. Okay, so I want to go back here and look at Sylvia. Sylvia, my love, journey with your husband. Yes, I know, baby. It's getting worse. Very sad. I know you're sad. There's so much sadness and your heart and your beloved and all the beauty that you had together and how that's becoming very difficult because of his situation. Your heart hurts trying to stay in yourself and surrender. Thank you, love and gratitude. Absolutely. So I've known Sylvia, right, for a little while. We've done some sessions. She's been in some of the classes, and she's got a situation where she's lost the ability to connect to a beloved that really was a huge part of her life. And some of you might relate to that. Her beloved is still here. However, as you can see, the sadness in the heart. So a sadness is a judgment of what's happening, and that's lack of acceptance. And when we have lack of acceptance, we can't rise to a higher state. Acceptance is a state of power. It's a state when you go, oh, okay, I'm sad, and I'm going to accept the sadness. Then you don't stay in the sadness, you accept the sadness, and you go through it. Right. And then you might be like, I wish it was the way it was before. However, that's holding you back. So no different than many different things. It'd just be like tying yourself to a fence and then trying to run and going, why can't I get anywhere? You've tied yourself to wanting something in the past. You tied yourself to believing something is sad, and your heart is hurting, and you want to accept that. You want to always go and respect the parts of you that are hurting, but you don't hand your power over to them. Right? And this is true for everybody. This is an opportunity to understand at a deeper level. The only constant is change. Nothing will stay the same. We come into a body and the body begins to decay immediately. Why? Because physical reality is enlivened. What's the word? It keeps going like that, is brought to life by our spirit. And your spirit may continue. The pharaohs and people in the Bible, they lived 150, 250 years, no problem, because they knew how to do alchemy. They alchemized gold and other things into mana, which was a life-giving force. It's a life-giving for health. It's for giving electricity. It's for communication. It kept your connections to spirit open, and it allowed you to regenerate your body. And it's not important that we do that. It isn't a failure if your physical body dies, because you're eternal, as we know from this session. All right, good. Let's dive in. Thank you. I always like to see. Oh, love you. You watch your interview with Neil Stacy. Oh, good. Yes. Hi, Oshun. How wonderful. Where will the retreat be located? It's in Avalon, which is Glastonbury, England, in the UK, which is in the southwest. And it's where King Arthur, the Holy Grail, where the Mary and Michael currents and ley lines meet, where the Mists of Avalon, if you're familiar with that, where the very classic goddess Avalon, Morgan Le Fay, if you're familiar, Lady of the Lake. There's a lot of dragon energy there we're going to be playing with. There's sacred springs that we have private access to. We'll be going many times to these sacred springs, the red and the white spring and the gardens, but we also have private access just for our group, and we'll be going in to these sacred springs to bathe, to do ritual, to activate, to cleanse, to clear. You're going to have these huge quantum leaps in wherever you are. And of course, we're going to be loving each other up. We're going to be going to the goddess temple and having the priests of Avalon do sound healings with us. We have a beautiful local little Celtic woman who is an artist who's going to take us for an entire day to all these sacred sites to create our own wand. That we're going to have a beautiful box and a scroll to bring back, and we're going to be blessing it at the springs, and we're going to be sourcing it at the apple orchards. This is the Isle of the apple being the tree of knowledge, the sweetness, the seed of your star within you. We're going to be going to the lake and seeing the reflection. We're going to be doing these activations. We're going to be working with Maria, who's going to teach you how to use dowsing rods, whether you care or not, because you're going to be having a chakra activation in the ancient abbey there. So even the churches that were built on top of the goddess structures, and we're going to be going to the stone circles, and we're going to be going to this very amazing place where there's this sacred feminine energy, where the long-headed fae people lived. They found the skull there. Maria discovered them, and she's like super wisdom oriented. We're going to be kind of close to a rare lunar alignment and the full moon at one point. And we're using all of the energies, cosmic and earth energies, the waters, the labyrinths in the land, and up the Tor, it's called, or the Isle of Avalon. We're going to be working with the local, some of the locals, like I said, the Avalon priestesses. So my goal is to take the energies of the land and the place and the uniqueness and find and source the people to bring you to an experience. And it's a transformative, beautiful experience. Everything is taken care of except for a few of your dinners. So you just have to get to Glastonbury, and you do that by flying to London or to Bristol. Most people are flying to London, and I can talk to you through any of that. So if you go to that page, the Avalon page here, you will also be able to, let me turn this off. You'll also be able to work, there should be a link there. If not, contact me whatever way that you can on Facebook, or send me an email at ASST or support@nanakasha.com. And I'm happy to jump on the phone with you to help you understand any of the details, understand any of your fears, or understand why you feel called, to make sure you're called. I've actually told one person no. They wanted to come, and we talked, and I realized that it really wasn't the right time for them. So I'm not interested in bringing people in just to fill the retreat or just to make money. And I want to make that clear, because anytime you speak to me, I'm looking at the truth. I can't live with myself, and I'm not designed to tell you a bunch of manipulated lies in order to get your money. I'm not interested in that. And I certainly wouldn't bring people into a retreat that's this sacred, this beautiful, where we're going to be all coming. And when you come, you bring your key codes, and you go somewhere and you receive those key codes from the land, and you give them and to each other, and we create a vibration of our own. So it's just going to be incredible. So, all right, enough of that. Let's move into our readings. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you. Congratulations on the TV show. Hi, Kim. Oh my gosh, Kim, did we have so much fun last night? I didn't go to sleep till 2. We were talking about how early I go to sleep, and I didn't go to sleep till 2. I was so jazzed from our mastermind call and all the cool stuff we were talking about, and digging into the deeper mystery and how the secrets are coming to the surface now and everything. Oh my goodness. And if you're interested in my mastermind, it is only 7 people in a very intimate group. We meet every single week for 6 months. And I'm going to be doing a new one starting in November. So if you're interested, you could apply. I don't even like that word. You can reach out to me to talk. I generally didn't advertise this last one. I just reached out to clients or people in my classes to, again, find the right group of people who were ready to come on this journey, because it is supportive, it is loving, it's vulnerable, it's intimate, and you get to have massive, massive breakthroughs. There's one lady in it who just keeps telling me, I can't believe the support I have. I can't believe the confidence I feel. I can't believe she manifested a manager job from no job and all these other things, feeling different with her family. It's really amazing. So thank you, Lisa Cat. Wow, beautiful. I hope you can go to Oshun. Oh my gosh, Oshun is one of my favorite goddesses, by the way. I used to do a lot of goddess things, and we're going to be doing a lot of goddess work there. Um, Oh, Stacey, it was through one of my courses you connected with your dragon and you still connect to them. Good. We're going to be doing some dragon stuff in the Intuition Awakening course. We're going to be working with Merlin. We're going to be working with the goddesses and a lot of the Celtic energies and some water magic as well, as it weaves into these awakening things, like a whole new third eye awakening. This is opening more eyes within your field. So, yes, you're called to go. I'm getting chills. Oh, good. You went to bed at 1:30. I was talking to Debbie for a while. You guys kept talking. Oh my gosh. It was past her bedtime too. We had just so much fun. That your daughter Avalona recently got sick and her symptoms are all over the place, moving through them quickly with ascension awakenings and energy. Yes, absolutely. Everybody is going through ascension awakenings. I was talking to a lady about coming to the retreat the other day. She's been a client of mine for many years and on and off. And she said, I just woke up and started throwing up the other day, but I was fine. And then I went to work and I said, I did the same thing. I woke up, I felt really awful for about 2 hours. And then I threw up like a maniac at 6 a.m. And then I felt fine. Ooh, it's 11:11. It's definitely time to start our readings. And so there's ascension sickness or light body sickness, we used to call. As you access these higher powers, you're literally changing your brain structure. You're changing your energetic structure of your subtle body, and you can have these symptoms. So don't worry. Don't run to the doctor right away unless it's really important. Then do. Yes, it is. Ashe. Oh, you're so supportive and loving. I love you so much, you guys. You know, I live in the middle of nowhere. I live in a fishing village. I'm looking at the beach. I live in the Yucatan amongst the Maya in Mexico. It was divinely guided here. It just blows my mind. I have remembered many Mayan lives, and I go to the pyramids all the time. I have one pyramid about 10 minutes from my house, and it's been so profound to live this far away. I don't go out. I go to town unless I have to, for some medical reason, for the chiropractor usually, and or for shopping. But I have somebody who brings us food every week, all of our fresh kale and our fresh organic food that we eat. And I don't leave the house, but I have my own world here. I have my coconut tree guardians, and I have and then I have you guys. And so I don't feel isolated at all. I feel so connected, and I'm connected to the right people. I'm connected to you. And that's the key. You have to sometimes let go of people in your life that are very negative. You don't have to judge them or tell them off. You don't have to. You just have to be like Jerry Hicks. If you know Abraham Hicks, I used to be in a study group with Esther's daughter in San Antonio. That's where they were from. And Esther Hicks, his daughter, Abraham Hicks. And she told us stories growing up. And if you remember Esther's husband, who passed a little while ago, who was really the psychic one first and started to be the one that got her open and would take the notes and process the videos and the CDs and all of that. And so I said, what would Jerry Hicks do? Because the stuff I learned about Jerry was profound. I personally never met him. Chris did. He went to several of their workshops, and he went to their beautiful place that they had in San Antonio. And but she said that it was so important for him to make sure that his energy stayed pure and clear that he would just get up and leave. He would get up and leave in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner if people were being all blah, blah, blah. He didn't say, please stop. He didn't try to change the topic. He didn't try to tell people what to do. He just removed himself from that energy. And it's weird in our society to do that. However, if you would listen to Abraham Hicks, especially back when Jerry was alive, you would hear Abraham say, before he would get in the van, before he would drive, he would stand outside and he would look. And what he was doing was reaching with his energy, reaching for what was beautiful, what was perfect, what was outside of his old identity, to align with the energies that were optimal for him. And he would not start his day until he found them. And then he did everything he could to stay in them, but not judge anybody, not tell anybody off, because that just takes you down lower. So, all right, my loves. My unicorn says, never stop dreaming. Okay, so I want to say hi to everybody on Facebook and everyone on YouTube. And we're not going to be streaming everything to Facebook. I really prefer if you come over to YouTube. However, I felt like today that this was important because it's so much fun to do these. And so I want you to relax wherever you are. Like I said, you have already come into my sacred space. So there is an infinity healing chamber, which the minute you join any of my classes, you learn how to create the infinity healing chamber. You can put it around yourself. You can put it around your kids who live a million miles away, like mine. You can put it around your work building. You can put it around the doctor building or the hospital where you're going to have surgery. Whatever it is, you can work with that. So enter the sacred space, take a few breaths, relax. Let me drink the rest of my unicorn cacao here, my beautiful cacao goddess, bringing me my serotonin. And I highly recommend you get some cacao seeds or some organic cacao. Do not use cocoa. Do not put dairy and sugar in it. Use stevia or something natural because it replenishes your serotonin. And if you do spiritual work like this, it is depleted very quickly. Okay, so when I start talking, part of it's me talking. I start channeling, and I can feel my back and my neck. I always get this sort of push feeling when other energies and entities are coming in. Today we have a really beautiful circle. We have a lot of sacred masculine energy that came in this morning as I was creating circles. So I want you to take a deep breath in. Draw it up your nose. Always look and watch the energy. Increase your intuitive skills by going, wow, what does it feel like? What does it look like? Is it purple? Is it green? Is it a mist? Is it water? Then let it bathe your brain. Let it bathe your inner eye and your thalamus, hypothalamus, pituitary, all of those glands, and then let it go. Ask it to cleanse and clear and release anything and everything in the body, the mind, and the emotions, all the way down and out to the feet. I am that I am. I want you to say these words to yourself, even silently. Ie Escher Ie. I am that I am, and I am here, ready and willing to be a clear and open channel for my highest good. Take another breath in, let it go across and down the throat, the arms, the heart, expanding, expanding, expanding. Blow it out with what I call a dolphin breath. And now it's pulsing in out through your field, through your aura, through your cells. Ask it to open and awaken. I'm open and receptive to be a clear conduit connected to my higher self, my I am presence, my body elemental, to Gaia, and to all of my guides that are optimal today. Thank you, Gaia, Merlin, Lady of the Lake. Thank you to the 9 Morgans and Morgan Le Fay. Thank you to Lady of the Lake, to Athena, Artemis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Bast. Thank you to Isis. Thank you to Thoth and Asclepios, the Greek god of healing, and all of your daughters and wife, the sacred, divine, feminine healing pillars. We call on Jaguar to the sacred Jaguar. Thank you, Mother, Sister Jaguar. Thank you to the dolphins, to the otters. Thank you to the eagles. Thank you to the butterflies and the dragonflies. Thank you to the sacred dragons, the gold dragons, the red, the white, the gold, the Atlantean dragons, to the platinum dragons, and to all the realms within us, to our guardian dragons. We accept that the dragon realms are awakening. They're coming back into our senses to be our guides, to be our protectors, to remind us of our value and our treasure. We enter the sacred space in reverence, fully present here and now. We enter with open hearts and open minds. I am that I am. I am a clear and open channel. I trust my inner authority. I ask now that my intuitive self and my light body be awakened to the gold ray, to the silver goddess ray, to the moon and the sun, and to the beautiful energies of this moment that are calling my soul and my heart forward, to the truth that I carry and the promise that I made my soul, to the evolution, to the opportunities that are here. We enter as a circle, as a sister and brotherhood. We enter because we have been together before. We enter this sacred temple of light. We call on Atlantis, ancient Egypt. We call on the truth and the wisdom of the ancient Maya, to the Incans, to the Inuits. We call on to those wise ones from Rome, from the Norse lands, from the Celtic cultures. We call on the sacred Sumerians, Babylonians. We call on through time and space to the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, to the Andromedans. We call on Regulus. We call on the age of Leo. We call on the age of Aquarius. We are here now to receive the wisdom of our soul. We are here now to open the book of life, the book of death, the book of truth. We are here now to connect to our soul lineages that are optimal for our highest good, wisdom, path, and powers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Standing now in the center of our temple is a very tall crystal obelisk. It's pure crystal. It's at least 3 stories tall. There is a beautiful ancient pyramid behind it, the shape of an even, smooth-sided Egyptian pyramid. In front is Hathor. Hathor is standing, her hands in front of her heart. Gold band around her head is glowing. Her beautiful ears of the cow and the calf, her wide eyes looking deep within us. She is sending a message to all of us right now. I am love. The Hathors, we came into a particular time because the time was ripe. You know me from ancient Egypt. You've seen my image on the pillars at Dendara. You know that in my temple are carved strange carvings and alchemical processes and things that you believe couldn't have existed back then, like helicopters and jet pilots and UFOs and these things that you call them, yet we had privy to infinite energy. We understood the laws of the universe. And there was a moment in time when we aligned our heart and our head to these knowledge, to these technologies, spiritual technologies of crystals, minerals, gold. And these technologies kept our consciousness high. We communicated across the world. We traveled across the world. It was common. There's common knowledge that Solomon traveled around in a little ship in the air. There's common knowledge in ancient Indian Vedic scripts. You've seen these. This was not unusual. You called us gods, and yes, we could be considered gods because we operated at a higher level of frequency that you were unfamiliar with. And yet, I am you, and you are me, and we are one. And now is the time to understand that love is a frequency. Love is life. Love is not, oh, I love my dress. Oh, I love my dog. Oh, I love my partner. Oh, I love my parents. Oh, I would love to go to Egypt. That is a different kind of love. It is okay to feel called by the desires of your heart. Listen deeper. Love is the alchemy of your soul. Love is the promise that you carried. Love is your truth. Mary knows this. Mary Magdalene listened. She had many children. You all have her DNA, and you have mine. And you are one with Isis and Athena, and you are one with Thoth, and you are one with the priestesses of Avalon, and you are one with the priests of Atlantis. The treasures are coming forward, the scripts and the ancient scrolls and the ways to decipher what we have left on the temples, the cathedrals, the pyramids, hidden and buried around the world. The truth is rising. You cannot read it. You cannot hear it. You cannot receive it if you do not accept that you are. You are the pillar of light. You are the truth. You carry the codes of alchemy within you. You go somewhere like Avalon and you breathe it in. You go somewhere like ancient Egypt and immediately your DNA begins to unravel. It begins to hold new codes. You are the alchemical pillar of light. You do not need a lab. You need only to allow this love to saturate you, and you will begin to alchemize the pain and the past and the fear and the vows and the contracts that have held you back and held you prisoner and held you down, because it is not your truth. It is an illusion that is falling apart, and it is the falling apart that you fear. It is not your power you fear. That was your thought. And that was a good leap in consciousness when you were told that you do not fear your lack, you fear your power. Yes, because you didn't see anyone ever in your recent history that handled power in a way that benefited all. And yet you know, and your lineages are lining up around you. You are now standing in the star of Venus. The star of Venus. Venus is the ultimate divine, intuitive goddess energy, the conduit of truth and love. The planet Venus travels and outlines this incredible sacred geometry. Why? Because she goes like you go out to an extreme point of experience, and you gather that wisdom, and then you come back and then out again, and you have created over and over and over through time, through space, through lives, through wisdom schools and mystery schools. You know everything that is required for you to step into the greatness, the magnificence, the power, the wisdom, the love, to receive it and digest it, to accept it. That is alchemy. Transform your pain, your past. Transform anything you perceive as a block within you with this love, and I will be there. I will hold your heart the way that Mott gave you the feather of truth the other day to give you an experience of a light heart. I will hold your heart. Feel my hands around it. Feel all of the lineages now. The pilgrimages are to your heart. They are to this deep place within you. And now, as you hold this, put your hands within mine. Let me hold them. Let me remind you, it is your turn to hold your heart. You are the only one who can love. And when you love yourself, you digest all of the wisdom and all of the support and all the opportunities and all of the doors that are waiting to open for you. There is no barrier to what you dream, because you are the dreamer, the creator, the weaver, the alchemist. There is nothing that you cannot alchemize. Do not believe in your lack, believe in your love. Once you digest it, you will begin to distill it. And from that distillation, the breath of life will rise within you. The truth will come to your mind, will come to your voice, will come to your truth, will open the doors on your path, and we stand there for you. Through the ages, we have never left. The angelic realms and the dragons, yes, the goddesses and the gods, yes, the fairies and the elves and the nature spirits, yes, we have all been here. Gaia and the sun, we are eternal beings of divine love. And we have been experiencing the limits with you. But we have never forgotten who we are. You are the brave one. Thank you. Thank you. Please accept this gift and remember, remind yourself every single day that the Hathors, and we are a people, we are a lineage. Perhaps you are remembering now that you studied with us in Atlantis, in ancient Egypt, in ancient Mayan lands. Ooh, we love the poles. Perhaps you were with us in Easter Island. Perhaps you were with us at the South Pole. Perhaps you were with us in Lemuria. Yes, we have been here with you. We embody the love that cannot die. The memory is within you. Choose it. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There are 3 of you here that hold a very strong Hathor priestess lineage. It is time for you to know this. Claire, Claire, Claire. You have the Claire. You are called Claire for your clarity. You have the Claire audience. You have the clarity to hear. You have the clairvoyance. You have the clairsentience. You have the clair. All those levels of clairs, these are within you. Your chakras are deeply out of alignment. Your root is coming back. It is coming back. However, you need to know where to plug the root, because then you move to the sacral and your energy is way over here. It is way off balance. You have left your sacred center because of the abuse and the pain and the fear of your creative powers. And yes, you hold them. You hold a basket full of clairs. There is no clair that you don't have because you became a master. You worked with us. You worked with us in Egypt, but you worked with us in deep, deep within the earth. Not really in Lemuria. There is an inner earth. There is a world within the earth. And this was one of the places that you hold deep connections to. You also understand that Atlantis fell and you were one of the high priestesses there because you were there orchestrating the fall. You were there orchestrating the flood. You were there giving the orders to all of the other priests and priestesses. Take the wisdom, take the symbols, take the knowledge, fly. Of course, they could fly. You knew that. And you have been afraid to hold this power. This power is so important now. And yet, the intensity and magnificence of the power that you hold is beyond anything you could imagine. And there is deep fear. There is deep fear because you hold and held the responsibility of the High Council to decide to crash it all. The flood in the Bible, the bang of the scientists, the sinking of Atlantis, it's all the same thing. It was a time when the darkness, the separation from truth and love and spirit went. And we knew this was going to happen. And you knew, and you know now. You are a seer. You are a seer, and you can see. And yet you're afraid to see. You've held your wings tight and you've held your hands over your eyes and you've held your heart within you and you've taken all the power in your sacral and shoved it to the side because you have been burned and you've been accused and you've hidden. You've hidden in the forests for so many lives, stirring your magic cauldron and making your herbs, but staying out of the eye. You know that the powers, the authorities have their own agendas. because you were of the high council. You watched those who were enlightened, those that you helped to understand the powers of the sun and the moon and the earth and the crystals, the technologies and the wisdom within Atlantis that then you helped to send to Egypt. And then you went there to help people. Oh, it took so much time to bring the barbarians into a higher level of consciousness. And then there was a beautiful golden age. And then again, oh, the abuse of power, the lack of heart. You are here as a Hathor priestess to remember not just who you were and what you knew, but to embody it, because the heart and the head and the hands now must be connected. Take the Claire that you are and the bravery that you have had. There is nothing that can stop you now, even if you perceive those limits. And thank you. We honor you deeply. We honor you deeply, and we bow to you with great reverence. Claire of the Claire, clarity. As you embody your truth, there's nothing to do. You begin to radiate, and those around you begin to get clear. They feel that clarity. They sense in your presence a peace and a wisdom. It is for you to be, and then to radiate wider and wider your field of light and love. Thank you, dearest Claire. Ooh, Sylvia. Ooh, Sylvia, 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 Sylvia. Your heart hurts. Your heart hurts because you are a goddess of love. You are so deeply, deeply connected with Venus and Aphrodite and Oshun and all of the embodiments of the divine feminine goddess of love. Not just beauty love, not just sexual love, not just the reduction of the sacred feminine that happened through time, but your heart remembers this love that we speak of because you are a Hathor. You have come from our lineage, and you came to embody that love, and you experienced love in the physical beyond what most people, 89% of the people on this planet, have not experienced the love in a partnership that you have. And that was just a tiny, tiny touch. So the sadness within and the loss you perceive is only one level of reality. But you have stuck yourself in it. You have been grasping at it. You have been holding on to it. You have been lamenting it. You've been feeling at loss, and you've been wishing for someone else to rescue you, for someone else to love you, for that thing outside of you to give you this love. But you do not need that. You are beyond anything that you can imagine. And yet, until you agree, until you remember, until you embody our eyes and our ears, until you remember that you are that pillar. Look at a picture of ancient Egypt. Look at a picture of the pillars with the Hathor on the top, and you will go. Stand inside of that pillar. Feel the love of the sacred cow. Many, many, many cultures have the sacred cow. Ancient Egypt began with the sacred calf. Even Moses took a golden calf, and he did not condemn anyone. He came down with the alchemy. Those tablets didn't have rules. They had the formula for alchemy. And what is alchemy? Taking gold and making an elixir that lets you rise out of the density, lets you make mana for life, to feed everyone, to not believe the illusion, to not be a slave to anyone, to remind yourself of your own inner truth. There is this alchemy inscribed within you. But primarily, the emerald tablet was for you. You understood it. You embodied it. And this love is not your savior. It is your truth. It is not going to rescue you. It is not going to free you from something that you see in your world that is operating in the physicality. It is going to remind you inside of you is the love that you seek. And that in fact, you are the fountain of love. And that in fact, you are the one that is being called to remember this so that it can overflow from you and out and into everything. There is nothing that you need from anyone else. Become this fountain of love. And remember, I hold your heart. And everyone that is in this community is holding a light. This is the time to hold your light up and light your own way forward. Don't wait. Don't lament. Don't look back. Do you know the story of being freed, but being told, don't turn around and look back, or you'll turn into a pillar of stone or salt? What does this mean? It means if you keep looking back at the past, if you keep looking back at what you think you've lost, if you keep looking back to be what you were, if you keep looking back to judge yourself or to decide what's coming or any reason whatsoever, you will die to the future that is open to you. You will become stone. You will become stuck. You will crumble because you are brittle. You are not flowing. You are not fluid. You are not full of love because you have refused the divine gift of love and freedom. So once again, we give this to you. Use it to look forward. Use it to look forward. Use it to free yourself and stop looking back and stop looking outside of you and begin to remember what you are. There's an emanation of colored lights coming now out of you, layer after layer after layer, in a 360 degree, like a ripple in a pond. Big bands of rainbow colors from the tiniest little pebble, this seed in your heart center, this seed of Hathor, love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Lisa Hilmer. Lisa Hilmer. Yes, you are one more of our Hathors, and you have forgotten the love because you've become enslaved. You've become enslaved. There is an image of you tied, leather straps around your wrist, tied to two pillars inside of a temple, being whipped, being beaten. You are a slave to this story that your truth, that your love, that your powers, that your wisdom, that do not follow the rules of the laws of the kings and the pharaohs. You are taking the wisdom of your priestessness and your truth to create your own wisdom, to create your own wealth, to create your own money. You've become more powerful and more wealthy than the priests and the kings and the pharaohs, and they do not like it. They want to take your money. They want to take your power. They want to beat your spirit. They want to remove the truth that you hold within you. They want to bully you and intimidate you, and they want to freeze you, and they want you to think that you are a slave and that you cannot have any more, that you do not know how to handle this money, and that if you have this money, you will never know anymore, because they are taking away your pathways. And yet that time, yes, painful, is not true. You can see now you're here again, but you are living by these rules. They have beaten it out of you. There is a time when you rose to the top of a sacred Mayan pyramid as well, and you stood there, and a lightning bolt came down and activated the Koyopa in your blood, the Kundalini. And you became a fire being, and you became an alchemist, and you began to transform everything you touched and everything you saw to whatever it was that you wanted. And when you came down with this power, you were feared, mostly by those in power, mostly by those who controlled the wealth and the wisdom and the knowledge. And they did not like your independent freedom, and they did not like your independent powers. Now you are in a life, and you are frozen. You are almost every night going into the fear. If I make a mistake, if I slip up, if I show too much confidence, or if I follow my own path, or if I create my own wealth, or if I choose this, somebody will take it from me and I will never have any again. And it has shut down your pathways, and it has hardened your heart, and it has turned your life into a very small cave. And you're meant to shine. You are meant to climb that pyramid. You are meant to call the gods. You are meant to bring the lightning again into your spirit and into your blood, your sacred blood. Your blood holds powers. But you cannot awaken it when you fear, when you hold on to what you have, when you refuse to believe that you can create anything. But you cannot create anything in a prison. You cannot create anything when you think, this is all I have. What if I make a mistake? There's nothing else for me. This is the time. And again, remember, you are a Hathor priestess. You are a priestess of Quetzalcoatl, of Kukulkan. You are the feathered serpent. Shed now this limiting belief. Rise and reclaim your feathers. Become the shamaness again with all of the ancient vibrations and channels open. Become the feather of truth. Become now who you are. Know that you are the transformer of any mundane substance, dirt, mud, clay, stones and rocks and lead. You can alchemize anything. Your power is vast. You have to let go, and it will rise. It will rise. I am Hathor, and we are here, and we follow you, and we hold you. And yes, you go through pain and suffering, and you have, but it is fleeting. As painful as you believe it to be, you are more eternal, and more of you is the truth of love, and more of you is the truth of wealth and health and happiness and love, and more of all of you is the truth. The pain, the loss, the failure, the accusations, all of those things are so tiny, and they do not hold you back, and they do not define you. Please now remember, my priestesses, my divine seers, my oracles, my prophetesses, my shamanesses, you are here. It matters not what body you're in, what culture you're in, what color you are, how old you are, how much money you have, how big your house is, how much status or influence you have. We care not about these things. They do not determine your truth. They do not determine your power. And this is the time to shed that bullshit. And so it is. All right. Thoth is here, our divine guide, our magical teacher, the bringer of magic, the priest king of Atlantis, Hermes, the wisdom keeper, the starter of medicine, the teacher of magic and science, the writer of the truth. Thank you, Thoth. 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 Ah, the cat. Lisa cat. Lisa cat. Ooh, Avalona. Avalona. Avalonia. Avalona. Oh, you are such beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beings. You've come again, mother and child, mother and child, mother and child. Do you know that Isis is the mother of all, holding the child who is the all-seeing eye? You are Mary and Jesus. You are Isis and Horus. You are the divine, sacred feminine and the all-seeing eye. Embodying this motherhood here and now has brought you great wisdom, great pain, great fear, great worry. And now we bring the feathers back. We softly release you both to become, when you stand in this lineage, you understand that what it means to be the sacred feminine, what it means to be the sacred I, is that you now come into a place where the sacred masculine has not held a safe place for you. You are not supported by those pillars of the masculine or the patriarchal life. And now is your time to rebirth yourself without requiring and without allowing any of those structures upon structures upon structures around you that you perceive limit you. Whether it is a man or money or rules or the father, the school, the job, the religion, layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. You have put yourself inside of here so that you would not be seen. So many years of the divine mother being killed and suppressed. You did not want to show yourself, and we understand this, but we are here now. We ask you to feel the feather of truth that Maat has given you, and now to feel the truth touching you, softly whispering, you are a divine, sacred mother, embodying the great goddess, the great mother. The mother means that you hold unconditional love. You can accelerate the healing because near you and around you, others who let go and allow themselves, when you allow yourself to be this, to radiate this, you will be seen through these walls and they will dissolve. You will shed layer after layer after layer after layer, and you will hold your child, not through fear and protection, but through the great honor of being the conduit, of being in the promise that you would bring forward this new divine woman, and that together, like we see through ages, the goddess and the child, that this is not only the sacred feminine, this is what has been buried, the ability to create, to produce, to replicate, but replicate those who can see clearly, those who remember and travel time and remember and bring wisdom. This must arise. We are here for you. Please call Isis, Thoth. We hold you, both of you. And now there is a beautiful and important goddess, a beautiful woman, a mother, Mary Magdalene. She rises from her sacred sites. There is a church that she is rising from. It is near the sacred stones in the Brigid Isles. It was once a stone megalith circle, and it held this sacred mother. I am a mother of many, and this story was stolen from me. My lineage, my ability to be the queen, to hold the sacred within me. I had many children. I held the lineage of John and Jesus. I held the lineage of the sacred because we held a trinity. It matters not what bodies we were in. It matters only that I am a priestess of Isis, and that I too held the ability to bring forward children of awakened eye from Horus and beyond. And many, many of my children were men because they could spread the seed of life. They could fit into the culture that was rising. And I live within these sacred lines, and I live within the earth, and I live within the sacred temples. And this church holds the truth that I am the wife and the mother of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine as one, becoming the Kundalini that births a new life. I ask you to let me hold you in my arms, and I will hold both of you, and you will remember the mother never dies. Gaia might have been chased deep into the recesses of her body, but her heartbeat never died. That this is rising again now, and you are here now, and you will mother more when you allow yourself to walk out of your perceived limits, the prison that the masculine has put around you, and you will know that your ability to be a divine mother does not mean that you sacrifice yourself, because I did not sacrifice myself. I held space to show the world that you are eternal, that you can be resurrected, that life moves on. And even though that truth was stolen from me, the mother was never killed. I carried my lineage across, and it is carved through cultures around the world. And now in this sacred church, my heart beats, and I wash the feet of the sacred masculine, which was only allowed if you were wed in the culture. So yes, I was the divine wife of the sacred masculine that came to show that you are eternal, that you are love. And we see this message over and over and over. Do not forget this. Call to me from anywhere. Let me hold you as you go to sleep. Whether I look like Kuan Yin or Isis, whether I look like Mother Mary or Guadalupe, it doesn't matter. Gaia, the Great Mother, you are the embodiment, and we thank you. Now, please remember and let the angels hold you as you radiate your heart out. It is safe now. Break free. Share yourself. Do not be possessed. Do not be hidden. Now is the time, and you are greatly needed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it is, so it is, so it is. Yes. The 9 Morgans are rising from the lake of Avalon, out of the mists. The sun is shining on the isle. There are golden apples, and there are apples of rainbow colors in the trees. Oh, the temples of the goddess shine in the sun. The pathways are gold. The priestesses bathe in the waters, and the 9 Morgans dance in the fields. They pick the flowers, they weave the crowns. Ah, the beauty. Ah, the light. Oshun, my daughter, please come. You are a raven. You are the maiden, you are the mother. You are the sage. We call to you to bathe with us again in these sacred waters. We call to you to remember that you are one of the sisters, and you work with the fates, and you know this, and you've been given this incredible energy in your name. And you know that your body carries so many secrets, but you know that you are made to be divine feminine in pleasure and light and opulence and love. It is time to bathe yourself, to bring the pleasure back, to feel your body and honor it, to allow yourself to bathe, to drink the waters, to open the spiral of truth within you. Let it go down into your womb and become again one of the sisters. This isle, this moment, this truth goes deeply into the waters where the magic and the Lady of the Lake and the water spirits live. The waters. You are in the line of Oshun. Ah, the river runs within you. You bring forward 3 rivers. You bring those Yorubian rivers, those rivers of divine. Ooh, where the pearls of your truth, let them come from you. You hold pearls of wisdom. Let yourself be bathed in opulence. The waters, oh, they're coming down from a high, high mountain, very cold, a mountain. Ooh, where is this mountain? It is very high in the ice. It melts from a glacier. There is a temple of ice and light at the top, and you are there, hidden away. You have all the powers and magic, but you are frozen. But as that river comes down, you can enter those waters now and slide, and it begins to melt. If you let go, those rivers will melt. Those waters will come. These waters now join with the Avalon rivers, the spring of the white, the spring of the red. Ah, the chalice that is held here. You come here to bathe in these waters and to remember that the chalice in your womb is a chalice of creation. Is it the grail? Yes. Is it holy? Yes. But it isn't anything outside of you. You are the embodiment. You are here to blend and to mix and to alchemize all of these lineages, all of these wisdoms. You are here to work with us, a circle of sisters, remembering our divine lives, our divine truth, our divine magic, the oneness you see and sense, the fae, the elves, the supernatural worlds. They're glowing and dancing in this realm, in this place. There's no barrier between the worlds. This is your place. We now caress your forehead. We draw sacred symbols upon it. These symbols will begin to awaken. They will go to your DNA. They will go first into your auric field, into your spiritual DNA. They will help you to hear a heartbeat, a new one. Then they will begin to rise, to weave. You will realize that the weaving of time and space, the weaving of reality and form, this is your power to take the waters and the airs, to take the rivers and the waters of these different places, to combine them and weave them within your own heart. First, you must love and care for yourself. Bathe with rose essences and flowers, smells and tastes. Savor these tastes and come alive. Come alive and listen to your heart. These will come together in you. And this is an opportunity because of your specific lineages. There is the Venus energy and the wings. And you are missing a head, but it is here because it is time for you to come and create a new. You are the creator and weaver of a new world. And you have chosen to leave behind the thoughts and beliefs, to hold a new you, to create in a clear new mind. This will be you. There is a dragon, an emerald green dragon, who wraps around you, around your legs, around your womb and your sacral, around your belly. Breathing into your belly button, breathing into your umbilical cord, breathing a beautiful breath, an emerald green ray. Let it come in within you. Remember this beautiful friend. There is nothing you can do to keep this from happening. Yet if you accept and surrender and follow the path and listen to the call, everything will be laid out for you. And the emerald green ray will connect you to the earth, to rejuvenation, to growth, to wisdom, to wealth, and to these earth dragons, and to the emerald crystal realms. and the Emerald City, as it were, that you are here to build. Thank you, thank you, thank you. P. Pat. Pate. 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 Patty. 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 Patty, you are being called strongly to your Celtic lineage. There are the trees of the Ogham, the trees and the runes, the ancient Celts, the music, the vibration, the harmony, the color that's emanating. These enormous ancient stone circles, they vibrate in and out, they come in and out, and you are standing there. You are like a tree. Your body sends roots, and the roots connect to the stones, and the stones vibrate and open, and you connect to the waters. And you know each one of the stones is connected to a sacred frequency, a sacred water in the earth. And you are absorbing that water. You have mastered it. Your raven hair is flying in every direction like antennas that are going out. Your silk gown is embroidered across the chest with the spirals of the interweaving and the Triskele back within itself, the truth. And it keeps bringing your heart back to this truth and back to the circle and back to your lineage and back to you. And now the truth of the roots that you are embodying as if you are a woman and a tree and a supernatural being, the Tuatha De Danann. You are all of these, and you can sense and feel the roots. They're going down, and they're choosing and speaking to each of the stones and the stone entrance and the spirals in the middle. And each of these stones opens a portal to waters within Gaia, waters that heal and waters that bring wisdom and cleansing, and waters that align and waters that open the portals. And your wisdom goes up, and your hair is like branches of a tree, and it wildly in the storms you are connected to the weather, to the rain, to the storms, to the clouds. Everything is alight and alive. You are so connected to the lightning, the storms, the air, the water. You are this amazing woman, and yet you are tree, and yet you are stone, and you are water, and you are Gaia, and you are the air, and you are the elements, and you are the electricity, and you connect the above and the below, and you are the pillar of light of all of this. And you recharge the land and the wisdom and the portals and the ancient understanding that this lineage had and held, until it was erased and accused. You never gave up. You faded into the other realms. You never stopped your connection to the roots and the waters and the stones, the sky and the moon and the sun. You never, ever lost your connection to the thunder and the lightning. You simply became invisible to the pain and the fear and those that came to conquer. You stood here strong like an ancient tree through time and space, and you watched everything come and go. And now is the time for you to reappear, but not just for you to live a life. No. You are bigger than that. You have held this like so many of the ascended masters, so many of the gods and goddesses, so many who have faded into the realms of the invisible, who have faded into the mists of Avalon, so to speak, like the dragons who never left. They simply moved to a realm outside of the reach of those who conquer and perpetuate violence and control, hatred. Those are fading. They seem strong now, and yet you are appearing. You can tell, you can sense it. See yourself here, feel those roots, speak to these cultures, call in these places, and remember your ancestry. Not just the families, but the Tuatha De Danann, the supernatural elves or fae or goddesses and gods, those who lived here and embodied both realms, walked in both realms, were fully embodied fae and fully embodied goddesses, and being people who walked and told stories and had poetry to heal people, and music and bards who didn't build temples but gathered in spots in nature, who understood the tree beings, the standing people, and the wisdom, and became them, never lost their truth and their lineage. We call you forward too. All around you is this deep, deep green, the green of the moss, the green of the Celts, the green of the emerald ray, the green of renewal. Let the trees speak to you. Let your roots draw to you minerals, waters, oils, elementals, the ancient stones that have lived through time, the ancient waters that have the wisdom of the ages, whether from above from the rain or below in the waters, in the aquifers, in the currents and the lines, in those produced within Gaia and those that fall from above. You draw from the above and below. You are the pillar connecting the two. And so it is. And so it is, and so it is for each and every one. All of us together here, we have reconnected. We have created a new circle. We have brought the priestess, the goddess, the seer, the oracle. We have brought the ancients. We have brought the mother. We have brought the Hathors. We have brought the love. We have allowed them to embody us. And now we ask that these download within us, that we never separate from them, that we never let any story, any pain, any past, as we move out from the circle today, keep us separate from this truth. We give great thanks to this incredible moment, to all of us and our awakening, our remembering, and we choose with each moment from this truth, and we accept this love that is within us, and we accept the truth that anything and everything is possible within any second. There is no time that must be crossed. There is no space that must be crossed in order to become, to have, to do, to be. That this now moment is now and now and now. With this great gratitude, bathe yourself, anchor this into you, allow it to become your truth in the heart, the voice, the throat, the cells, the DNA, coming into your body, coming into your clothes, into your house, into your car, into your vision, into your thoughts, into your job, into your relationships, into every part of you. Bring this with you. It is your destiny. There is nothing that can stop it. Yet you can embody it now. You can choose it now. You can remember to choose from it, to create from it, to embody from it, to give it more power, more truth, more belief than that fate that you have felt chained to. You do not need any longer that fate. You can shift into your divine destiny. And so it is. We give great thanks and ask that this circle be open, yet unbroken, and a divine, clear path to each one here now, each one who's called to this circle, each one that is called to this sisterhood, to this brotherhood, to these callings that we gather now here in this divine, sacred, magic community. That path remain open to guide us, heal us, help us, hold us through pain and fear, through joy and happiness, with every breath, every step, every choice, every touch, and every decision. May we hold the wand of truth and wield it with the love of the divine and Hathors holding our heart, with Mary Magdalene, with the 9 Morgans, with the Lady of the Lake, with all of these divine beings of the Fae, with Thoth and Esquiplios. Thank you to the dragons. Thank you to the elders, to the wisdom keepers. And thank you, for it is my honor to be a priestess of Isis and Athena, to be a Celtic shaman, to be a jaguar medicine woman, to hold the history, the mystery, the wisdom of the ancient grandmothers of prosperity, dream weaving, the watchers through time and space, and to embody the earth and the truth all the way down through my wisdom keepers, my teachers, my shamans, my body and all of my bodies, all of my lives and all of my lineages. May it be the truth that I live. May I make choices aligned with my soul's path, promise, power. May I remember that I am never alone. And may I serve and glow and shine brighter than ever before. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is now and in each and every moment. In la ketchalakin, I am another you. You are another me. We are one. Itakiwase. I honor and bow to you all. You are my teacher. You are my lover. You are my student. You are my mother. We have been through it all together. And finally now, here we are together again. Here we are together again. Thank you. Wow. So my beloveds, I have no idea what time it is. However, I would love to hear from any of you. I was very deep. I only remember a very little bit of this. It's 1222. 1222. Thank you. We are going from oneness to togetherness, and togetherness to unity, unity, and unity. I would love if you would share, any of you, what you felt, what you saw, what you thought, and then especially from those of you who received a reading, so to speak, what powerful and incredible people we all are. How we've done such a good job hiding from our true selves. How magnificent. Thank you, my beloveds. Thank you, my beloveds. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. Wow, Lisa Cat. Wow, wow, wow. Such amazing readings today. Thank you. You're so welcome. How was that? I know, Robin. 222. I felt the line in the heart of the in the heart, the infinity. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Hi, Robin. Greeting to all. Reborn Pure Heart Shaman in the Learning Pisces here. Thank you. Thank you, Sherry. Oh, thank you, Ariana. Namaste. Hi, Brittany. I love you too. Hi, Jacqueline. Ah, I will be able to do more of these. Greetings from Italy. Alia. Alia. Oh my gosh, how beautiful. I know so many of you came on and asked for readings, and we've been here for a while now, for 2.5 hours. So please come and join me at the thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Blessings to you too. Please come and join the Intuition Awakening Summer School. If you join in the next few days, you get the entire first course, and you can start right away doing these very powerful intuition awakening activations. And then when we start live, they're completely new. And you've got also another gift is the Sacred Spirit Guide Council. So you can start to connect to your council, your personal spirit guides that are there for you. And if you go to the shop, you can also get the free things. You can also get a soul lineage session with me, which is a great way to go deep personally, deeper into one of these types of readings where we go deeper into usually one, but sometimes more, one of these lineages, and how reconnect to it, heal some of the old agreements. Just profound things happen, as you can see just in this group, what was powerful, what came through. And yet if I had an hour with you, we could go deep personally. And when we come together in the class, we have a more intimate experience where we're going and we're feeding and we're seeing this for each other and we're reaffirming. It's quite profound. And I will do my very best to share some more readings as soon as I can. And I would love, oh, Lucille and Oshun, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Robin, new to your channel. Oh, I'm so blessed you're here. And if you go to the Intuition Awakening School, if you go to the shop, there's a page, but if you click on the link on the top of the page, it will take you to another page, which I think I have here that I could share with you. And it's on sale right now, quite deep sale. Okay. And it's $333, and as well as payment plans. So there's payment plans for 3 months or 6 months. If you need some other kind of support, reach out to me, because I do know if you are called for this, there's a reason, and there's a reason we've met, and there's a reason you're in my sacred space. And I want to be able to support you in whatever way I can to become a part of this. So this is going to be about your awakening intuition. Like I said, I'm gifting you many things to begin with and activate. And then when we come together in sacred space, as you might have seen in the chat earlier, many people here who've been in this class or other classes, every year it is different, which is why students come back again. And so I hope some of you will come back again. I know Stacy has been there, and many of you have been there. And it is a quantum leap. It is literally like this beautiful being opening your heart, opening your ability to manifest through your portals, opening those awakening third eye. We're going to work with oracle cards in every single one, but that's just one tiny form of divination, right? So we're going to have all of this is said here. It shows you get all of the replays forever. You're going to want to repeat these activations. They open you up, they activate, they bring you to a new level. They continue to nurture and open your intuitive pathways over and over. I'm trained in 3 different mystery schools from ancient Egypt, as in this life, as well as being a Melchizedek master, a shaman, energy healer, a homeopath, and many other things. And so I combine all of this to create the sacred space and to show you how to do that as well. So what we're doing is finding the blocks. We're going to do a soul contract release. We're going to work with our archetypes, Merlin and Gaia as the goddess of the sacred masculine and feminine, because big conversation right now, that is coming forward to be balanced. We're going to work with Let's see, the next one is divination, alchemy, and a third eye process, primary soul lineage powers. And we're going to go deep into awakening these gateways, these limitless powers, opening, activating your intuitive network, awakening the third eye system for higher consciousness. And this is different than any third eye thing you've ever done, because we're different. We're in a time we've never been in. So this third ventricle, this endocrine system, this built-in biohardware, the ancient archetype, all these things are going to build on each other to awaken you. We're going to work with Merlin is a title. The Merlins were the high priests of the Druids and the Celts. And so Merlin exists as a person, but also as an archetype of the sacred masculine that was allowed to continue to hold magic in our consciousness when all of those things were suppressed, the same way that the goddess was, the same way that intuitive powers were. So we work with Merlin and you get a Merlin meditation. So hopefully you'll get that, and you'll get that right away to play with and work with him, but also with the sacred masculine and feminine. We're going to work with nature and energies as divine guides, animals, nature, spirits, elementals. So we're going to have spirit guides and a manifesting process that is going to be about alchemy. And we talked a lot about alchemy today, because alchemy is not what we thought. It's not just something you do in a lab that can be done to create mana, that can create, electricity to charge the world, that can create higher consciousness or perfect health and live to be 150 and all of this. We also have the ability to alchemize the past, as I think I'm feeling like I remember from the readings was happening, that we have that alchemy within us. Oh yes, Hathor was here, wasn't she? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I'm going to have to re-listen to this. So then we're going to do dragon divination processes, earth elementals, fairies, fae, magic, goddess, Celtic wisdom, some of the ancient Egyptian and Celtic things. And we practice in every single one. They're 2 or 3 hours. So if you can't come live, don't worry, but many of them are on a Saturday. Okay. So they're on a Saturday because, Spirit told me to do that. I think we have one on a Thursday, and we always get the replays out to you, usually within the day, so that you can stay in it. So if you couldn't stay the whole time, or you came in and you couldn't come that day, then you can immediately go in and stay in sync. And we'll have other opportunities. But what happens is that we do these activations, we awaken those parts of you, and then I can help you to interpret messages that you're getting or things that happened, because I'm a seer. And as you can tell, I'm a clear and open channel. I've spent a lot of time getting clear on that shit. And I'm just like remembering who came today. Morgan Le Fay and Skiplios, he came in this morning, and Thoth, and so many of these beautiful beings. And then what happens is that we practice. All right. And this is the part where some people go, oh no, I'm no good, or oh, I don't want to be. And I can tell you, like, Kim is here and Brittany is here, and a lot of these beautiful beings who've been in these classes, they can tell you unequivocally it is one of the most empowering things. Because if you go alone and you do your activation, fantastic. But if you don't do this inside this create space I create, you have heightened awareness. You have access to things that are more difficult to access when you're alone at first. And you get feedback. Other people will be saying, oh, I saw this for you. I saw that for you. You will do a reading or something. You will use the powers that we've awakened. And then you're going to have feedback immediately right there. And don't hold your breath and hide, because I can promise you unequivocally, and I've done this in other courses throughout many, many, many decades. However, the last 4 years of this particular summer camp, we have had people just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know where that came from. Kim showed up and said, I've never done this before. I just did what you said. And poetry comes out of this woman. Streams of visions that are vivid, and people go on journeys, and people still say years later, that reading you gave me, Kim, was one of the most profound things I've ever had. And did you go pay some high priestess somewhere? No. You were with someone else in the sacred circle, because we are all that wise and that divine. So it is just so exciting to come back together. I know if you're called to the circle, I know if you're called to ancient Avalon to come with me, that you're called into this circle for a reason. And you're never called for a reason to make you feel like you want something you can't have. This just is not truth, okay? So we are going to go to ancient Avalon. And again, please reach out to me for any of these things. I'm very happy to talk to you if you would like. And make sure you get on the list at nanakasha.com, as well as subscribe here to the channel. When I go live, then you get a notification if you have that. However, if you're on my list at nanakasha.com, we send out reminders, and we've got some special guests coming on. I bring on my wonderful astrologer friend and mentor, and she's going to come on again in a week or two, and she brings the most incredible energy because she's very spiritual and very intuitive, as well as Chinese astrology and understanding the dragon year that we're in and the serpent year that we're in next year. And she's going to talk about Mercury retrograde that's coming up, and she just talked about some Gemini Jupiter energies. And if you don't understand any of that, just listen in, because my spiritual weather reports are all about what are the cosmic energies doing right now. You don't need to know. I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to channel and intuit. How can you see what to plan, what to do, why you're feeling a certain way, what might be coming up, why it's coming up, because we're in a constant flow with these energies around us. And when you come to Avalon, it's a sacred feminine magic retreat. What does that mean? Do you have to be a woman? No, you can be any. And you come together, and I provide your accommodations, your breakfast, your lunches, a few of your dinners. I provide everything from making your wand with the Celtic, going with Maria. And Maria is a beyond expert on these sacred sites, and she knows the spots at the sacred stones. And she's this a druid goddess sister of mine. And we are going to be playing in this playground, and we aren't going to talk to Merlin as a concept. We're going between the worlds, because that's what I do. So we're going to the goddess house, and we're going with the Avalon priestesses who are embodied now, as well as the ancients. And we're going to be going and doing reflection work in the pond and in the lake. And we're going to be following the labyrinth, and we're going to be doing this divination over and over. And here's where, when you go to this, please get on this list. This is different than my main list. And when you get on this list, I'm going to send you this magical manifesting meditation, which I'm just about to finish today. I listened to it several times to make sure that the volumes and everything are there. And here's Maria. If you're familiar with Maria from Gaia TV or BBC TV or History Channel, she is an incredible, incredible woman. She is she lives there, very close to Avebury. She is discoverer of different sacred yin water and spirals, and she understands the ancient stone circles. And she's going to be with us for 2 different days. She's going to take us through Avalon, through Glastonbury the first day. She knows where the chakras are that lead to the Mary Magdalene Church, the Church of the Woman in the ancient abbey. Then we're going to learn how to activate our ley lines. I'm going to be working with you on that while she's showing you the earth wines. She's going to take us all through Avalon, up the Tor to the Chalice Well, doing this connection to Gaia energies. And we're starting with that because she knows that there's colors and frequencies and songs that are coming out of the earth, and we're going to make our own water. You're going to be able to bring back sacred water, programmed water made from the well waters, which in and of itself has powers, but then we're going to do magic with it. We're going to imbue it. You're going to be able to bring it back, and we're going to be that's our day with Maria, the first day. And then we're going to be this is the recent, remember when all the colors were in the sky? This is the tour. I mean, just like stunning, right? And then we're going to be going to the Chalice Well and the White Spring several times. However, we're going to have our Earth Goddess Water Cave rebirth, private access. Okay. This is quite amazing and very special. And I had to petition, and I had to go through a whole process to get this private access. And the Chalice Well, they only give out 2 per week of private access. So this is really special that we get to do that. And we will be going there many different times to enjoy. This is the inside of the sacred caves and the altars to the god and the goddesses within the White Spring. And this is, of course, the Chalice Well over here. And then we're going to be making our wands with this beautiful Celtic goddess lady by sourcing it. It's going to be made from the wood of the apple orchards in the Isle of the goddess of the apple. And we're going to be going to the wells. We're going to be blessing it and making earth altars all day with this divine and incredible woman. And her and I have come together. And when I found her, I talked to her and I said, I like to co-create with people like you. I feel our resonance. We're Celtic sisters, where she's a beautiful little white witch, just gorgeous. You're going to just adore her. And these are literally a picture of the wands that she helps people make. All right. And so you don't need to bring anything, and you can if you would like. And we're going to go through the whole day in this magic flow. And we're going to eat together, of course. And we're going to go to the goddess house to bless it. And we're going to co-create this ceremony with the earth, with the energies, with the waters. And we're going to create this beautiful wand. And you're going to take it home in a gorgeous wooden box with the scroll. And we're going to go to Avebury, stone circles. We're going to know exactly how to enter it, not like the tourists. We're going to know which is the cleansing stone, which is the real pathway. We're going to go in the right times. We're going to go where the feminine energies are. We're going to find the stones that you lean against, because Maria knows these stones, to get your chakra treatment. We're going to go at night, because we're going to be staying right here overnight with 24/7 access to go out under the stars and the moon and the sun, and be able to work with these. This is an area where the crop circles just appear. So I was trying to say, where's the crop circle we can go to? And they were like, well, they just appear and then they disappear. So they tend to appear. One of my clients was meditating here and got up, and people were running across the street. And he's like, what happened? They're like, this crop circle just appeared, while we were meditating here. And so who knows what may happen. We're going to go to the long barrow of the ancient fae, long-headed, the long-skulled women, the queen that Maria discovered. And she knows exactly where to go for this rare lunar alignment. There's just beyond magic here. And I do really, this is the bottom line. Your magic is alive now. You hold this sacred sphere. This is the sphere of the flower of life. This is what of the primary magics that I work with, that I share with you, that I teach you to put around you, to put around everything, that connects you to all creation, to connects you to all time and to all space. So I love this beautiful artwork that my beloved made, and that Donna, my assistant, added our beautiful magical spheres to. So please come, please join me. Please let me know how I can support you. And thank you for being here. This is just so much fun. Absolutely amazing. I love you. I love that. I love you, Oshun, and all the sisters here. I'm in a new spot, newly unemployed. Wow. So collecting my new life. And it's a beautiful place to be, Robin. It's freedom. When something leaves your life, and that may be a death that seems painful, maybe your father or your beloved has passed on, or your dog, maybe a job you've left on purpose, or you thought you lost it, or you were fired from it. It's all aligned to your divine spiritual path. And I'm here to help you understand that your story is your completing patterns, so that you can step into what we talk about today, what we talk about in my world, that you have these powers, you have a soul agreement, you have things that you are meant to remember and become, and you're meant to live in a different way. So congratulations on any of you having a breakdown or a breakthrough. It's the same thing. And your new life. And it's what a beautiful time to go on a retreat. What a beautiful time to step into something new, step into something that's going to take you through those gates that you've been freed from. It isn't a time to go into the past fear of like, oh no, I don't have a job. I need to have this before I knew that. And that is not the truth. You are an infinite creator connected to the infinite field, and there's literally nothing that you cannot create. However, it takes this deep inner work, and it takes not looking back. I think I remember hearing something about don't look back and turn to stone. Trying to find a job that aligns to my calling is a little challenging. This is the conversation that's very big in my mastermind right now. And it's an interesting conversation. So 1, stop trying to find a job. 2, let go of what you think the job would be, the title, the place, and start tuning into the qualities that you require, that you desire, and that are optimal for you. Do you want to work with women? Do you want to work outside? Do you want to have freedom of schedule? Do you want to work at home? Do you want to be somewhere with lots of windows? Do you want to travel? Do you want the freedom to set your own schedule? Those are the things that you need to do, because money comes to you from source through people. And it isn't that person or that job that gives you money. You can have money come to you from anywhere. And my students are proving that every single day, that even, 10 cents or $20 on the street to people suddenly appearing in their lives saying, oh, I need exactly what you do, or could you do this for me? And realizing a different job or a different entrepreneurial aspect of what they do. And there's things you don't know about yourself yet. And your path goes like this. Right? So shed the old, try not to stay in who you were, try to use this as an opportunity to slip out, and your calling must absolutely be involved. Does it mean like if you're called to the priestess in energies or to this goddess energy, do you have to be a priestess? Do you have to be a healer? Do you have to be a psychic as your job? No. And yet, is that a part of you? Then yes, it makes it an important part of what you do, because you are you wherever you go. So reach out to me. Anything else you guys need? That line that connects us all to the past, present, and future. You feel the line in the heart of affinity. Yeah, it is. And here's the thing. There is no prison that we have to stay inside of, whether it's mental, emotional, spiritual, whether it's determined by our family or our lineage or our body or our culture or our money or our education. These are different things that we agreed to or we experienced, and we don't have to use them any longer to beat ourselves up or to believe we're not good enough or to feel limited. And the people in our lives no longer have the right to tell us what's right or wrong. And it's not to have a conflict or make anyone else wrong. Please don't blame and judge anyone else. And please don't blame and judge yourself. All right, my darlings. Well, I'm just, oh, my tears witness. Oh, how fun. Thank you, Nan, Isis, Thoth, Mary Magdalene. Beautiful reading for Avalonia. And I am crying and listening. And thank you for holding us. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful, honey. I am definitely going to, perhaps I can get someone to edit this into smaller bits for us so I can put them out, because there was just so much beauty in this. And you guys want to make sure you re-listen if I gave you a reading, and re-listen if you feel called, for sure. And hi, Deepshika. Oh my gosh. Hi, good to see you. Lisa Cat, receiving with so much gratitude. You're so welcome. Oh, Lisa Hilmer, I saw something from you. Thank you so much. So much truth and clarity from me. I will listen again and transcribe it too. So much wisdom. Thank you. You're so welcome, honey. I love you so much. I hope to see you again soon. I would love to see you in Avalon. Some of you I see in Avalon, like Kim and you and Brittany, and even if you don't feel it or don't know that you're meant to be there or don't see a possibility, I love to see something in my eye. I love to see that. So Claire wants to thank you for the beautiful message from Spirit that you channeled. Oh, I hope she heard it. And of course, you can direct her to the replay as soon as I end. It's live, right? And what an honor. Hi, Claire. Such an honor to meet you. I'm so glad you're here. And I think that started us off, didn't it? Claire brought in the Hathors. Can't wait to repeat it. Thank you. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, all you beautiful people. Thank you, Stacy. Kind, beautiful. Yes. So Sylvia, I hope you were here. I hope you got your blessings. I hope you all got so much from this. Thank you for being with me. And I love all of you. Namaste. Ciao. Oh, I'm just flying high. Flying here. Hi, CM Pisces, one love. Yes, we're ending, but thank you for coming. And I really suggest that you listen to this again, because what came through for other people will be profound for you too. It's always the way it is. People will be like, wow, I got so much from that. So I'm probably the person talking about Source, our Holy Father and Mother in my boyfriend's people circle. Oh, interesting, Robin. Okay. Money is a current, it flows. You're right. I just found a rat snake in my house. Wow, absolutely an incredible blessing. Snakes and serpents are the most wise and beautiful healers, and they were revered in every culture until the Roman Catholic Church decided to demonize it because they were demonizing the Kundalini, the life force, the tree of knowledge, your access directly to intuitive wisdom, to the sacred feminine, and to the ability to do that. So really realize if you have a fear of snakes, not just like be careful if it's a poisonous snake, but when you see a snake, and of course here the snake was a big part of the culture. So when we see a snake on my retreats, we just go out of our minds, or a snake skin. Sometimes we see the skin. Whoop, shed, shed, shed. And Cuckoo Khan has become one of my very dear guides, always next to me. Shed, shed, shed. And the amazing thing about snakes is that when they shed, they do it all at once. It's not like molting a few feathers here or there. And what do they have underneath? They're not a raw little baby with no fur. They're perfectly formed already. They're patterns of divine sacred geometry. They're rattles, which is their chakras, their crown chakra. Each new rattle represents a new level of higher consciousness, and they slide right out, but they have to slide through something thorny. They have to rub against a thorny bush or over a rough rock. They have to go through something uncomfortable and painful to shed that old skin, but they emerge perfectly formed. And this is where we don't understand to trust that within we're already perfectly formed. And if we would just shed that old shit, man, we would come out as this gorgeous and amazing being that we could start to see our own beauty and our own rhythm and our own truth. So I think that's wonderful. You're amazing. I love you. I'm going to go to Avalon. Yay, yay, yay. I'm so excited. Oh, shoot. I'm going to give you a big hug. My boyfriend isn't awake. One Love says here, and it's hard to be in my purpose when he wants me to make a living. I got fired from my last job last Friday. Woohoo! We're going to have a celebration for you too. Way to go, way to go. Yay, yay, yay. Hi, Lucy. Lucille, I love a purple heart. So I want to honor you, all of you, for going through the ups and downs. Men are not bad. We are not blaming all men. We do have and are living from a history and a culture that was in a certain way. We call it a patriarchal system. Patriarchal system says there's an authority outside of you. You do not know what you want. And that's the way our culture has been. Okay. The father, often the man or the person who makes the money, is the controller. And they want to tell you, be practical, be responsible. Don't do something like that. That's bad. That's stupid. That's silly. That's a little girl stuff. That's not power. And none of that's true. So we don't blame the person. However, you have to make that choice of how to stand up. Is the relationship going to evolve? Is it one that you are ready to complete? Or are there aspects of the relationship that you're ready to complete? Is that relationship there for you to learn to speak up and to stand in your truth, and not to say, you know, the way you might say some stranger comes and says, you need to do this. And you'd be like, well, who the hell are you? You don't get to tell me you need to do the same thing with your father, your mother, your husband, your brother, your sister, your kids, your boss. Okay. And even that part of you, the poor girl that wants to tell you that. So again, please, please go within, learn to listen to your inner voice. Know that if you don't have a job, it is not the time to not spend money. It's the time to look at what's the next step. Where is the freedom? What do I now have time to do? What do I now have an opportunity to move somewhere, to go somewhere, to wander, to travel, to experience with different things, to take different jobs, to start my own business, to look at a new part of my value? Where is this opportunity taking you? And this is a very, very common thing. So I want you to know that you are held with love by all of our sisters and brothers in this circle, because it's very common to feel the spouse of some sort, and the mother and the father and a lot of other people that you love and adore and want to have harmony with. They're not in sync with you. They're not awakening like you. They do not know you. They are not inside your head. They are not inside your heart. So you do not get mad at them, but you also have to break free. You have to break free from the entanglement of letting them bully you, letting them judge you, letting them put prisons and structures around you, like you have to do this. That's the most famous one. Go get a job and be responsible. So I shared this last night in my mastermind, and I'll share it really quick as we complete our big long journey today together. Is when I was married for 25 years, I love this man. I still love him deeply, but I had to leave. And about 23 years, 22 years in, I decided, ooh, I got to get it out. Yes, shed, shed, shed. And so I am not kind of normal. I spent most of my life being a people pleaser. So I was trying to please my parents and trying to make money and trying to do this stuff, but I was a fashion designer, so it was a little different. And then I was, doing things that were not in the normal job realm, but I was trying to prove that I was good enough and make money. And, then everything fell apart and I got on my spiritual path because I didn't have any beliefs. And then my daughter died and everything fell apart and I had to go to another level of deeper belief. And I kept becoming, going deeper into the mystery school and deeper into the energy healing and deeper into the other layers and being called by my heart into things my family did not understand and did not support. My husband was very sweet. He was like, okay, I don't get it, but all right. And he himself was, when my daughter died, his purpose came in his body and he became a hospice nurse, and then he started to run hospices. So he was definitely connected. He used to tell me, I don't need to go to your stupid spiritual groups. I talk to God every day. I work with people who are dying. And in a way, he was right. I wanted to have that connection. I wanted us to both be doing the same spiritual work. And at one point, we started taking different paths. So eventually, I had to ask for a separation. But before that, I sold my business. I had a healing business and an animal pet sitting business, and an animal and people healing business. And I sold it because my daughter died and I adopted my twins. And I stayed home with them for about 5 years or so. And as they were getting to the point a little older, I started being very called to start a business again, but I didn't know what it was. And that was when the real estate investing came into my awareness. I didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of it. I wasn't one of these people who was like, I've always wanted to renovate houses or decorate houses. No, I owned my own house many times. I liked it, but I didn't have even that concept in my reality. 7 nights in a row, I went into the bedroom where my husband at the time was sleeping. He grew up with a TV. He liked to watch the TV and go to sleep. So I would be in the other end of the house. I didn't like TV, and he would have the TV while he was sleeping. 7 nights in a row, I saw the same infomercial. It was different times of the night, 3 in the morning, 12, 11, whatever. I saw different parts of it. Spirit made sure that I saw enough of this infomercial about becoming a real estate investor that I thought was a joke. I was like, it's a scam. I was taught it was a scam. Don't buy anything on TV. This is stupid. But I kept seeing a little bit more of it and watching it. And what the hell is this? Until I bought it. And I bought it with great fear because my ex didn't like spending money. It wasn't that we didn't have the money, but he didn't want to spend it. So if I spent 10 cents, he was in my head saying, oh my God, am I going to have a fight about this? If I spent $10,000, he was in my head, oh my God, am I going to have a fight about this? So I let him and my father in my head control me. Everything I did, especially around money, I ran through both of them subconsciously at first until I became aware that I was doing this. And this is what most people are doing. Oh, what will he think? Will he agree? Is it okay? Will it be a fight? Is it worth the fight? Am I doing a wrong thing? Can I trust my own self? Blah, blah, blah. So when I bought this, I was terrified because I knew I had to. I knew that Spirit wanted me to, but I couldn't explain why. And so he was really mad and didn't speak to me. Literally didn't speak to me for 2 full months. I studied. I went to the events, the conferences. I learned it. I applied it. And 2 months later, after taking care of babies together and living together and not speaking one word to me, I bought 5 houses in 1 week, and I sold one of them to someone I met in the business and made $10,000. So within 2 months, I put $5,000 on a credit card. I paid it back and made $5,000. And I was very successful in that business. I moved on to mentor other people. I became a speaker. I became part of an association with 500 people in it that I started to teach how to do this. And that's where I actually became a hypnotherapist. Was I was going to a real estate seminar, and they brought in a hypnotherapist, a very famous one, who did a show with us. And so I saw people I knew on stage doing unbelievable things, speaking gobbledygook languages, but interpreting and understanding it. One tiny little woman being hypnotized to just be like a board between two little tiny chairs and this man standing on top of her and nothing happening to her. She wasn't hurt physically. She didn't remember it at first. And then when he brought her back out of the trance or whatever you want to call it, the other level of consciousness, she lost herself. She left herself. She didn't stay inside the part of her that was like, oh my God, you can't stand on top of me. I can't do that. All that. That's the power of your mind. And it was amazing, her face, because she came back and she just like looked at him and looked at all of us in the audience. And then she suddenly went, oh my God, you did that. I did that. Oh my God. And when he was standing on her, he told all of us in the audience, take a picture, take a picture, take a picture, because she's not going to believe this. And so I immediately said, yes, that became my next mentor. So this path didn't just lead me to facing a lot of my fears, which having your own business can do, expanding my ability to understand money, to ask for money, to understand assets, to be creative with money. There were a lot of things I learned in the real estate and business. I met all of my best friends and my beloved soulmate, Chris, that I still live with. I met him there. So there were a lot of reasons I couldn't verbalize to my husband at the time, who told me, well, I just made the money back and made $5,000 in 2 months. Don't you have anything to say to me? And he said, well, what you really should have done was gone and gotten a job. And then in about 6 years, you could have saved enough money for that. And then you could have bought the course. In 2 months, I changed my life and made money. I didn't have to wait 6 friggin' years of doing some boring job that would have sucked the life out of me to save $1 every friggin' week. Now, I'm not against saving and I'm not against having a job, but I'm telling you that when somebody outside of you tells you what's right for you, you need to know how to question it, because it changed my life doing that. And I then became a master level hypnotherapist, and then that led me into deeper spiritual work and so on and so forth. So the truth that lives within you is that there's a way and there's the money, and you don't have to go get a job and contribute in the traditional way. You can do that in many, many, many ways. And there's all kinds of ways that you can bring value, that you can manifest something without the money. So the other thing I'm going to leave you with is, don't put money between you and what your dream is, what your heart is calling you for. Oh, I want to go to Avalon. I want to go on this retreat. I want to do this class. I want to, move to Italy. Whatever your calling is, if you go and listen to that part of you without the fear, without the, oh, he'll think it's bad, or I don't have the money, or I shouldn't trust myself, or I shouldn't do the, use credit, or I don't know, whatever other story is in there telling you you can't, you shouldn't, you won't, then you aren't hearing the true message. And the best thing is getting clear so you can hear the message. Oh, this feels really good, but you know what? It's not really the time. There's something else, but it's opening me to an awareness, and it's making me meet Akasha. And then I'll understand this, and then I'll do that. And then this other thing will open. Maybe that's the path, right? But I can promise you is, if you immediately have conditioning, which most people have, that say, oh, I can't do that. Oh, it would be so nice to do that, but I can't because they won't like it, because I can't because of my job or my kids or my dog or my health or my money or my credit or any other reason you perceive. None of it's true. It's a bold-faced lie that you've believed in. And I can promise you that if you come into my world, I'm going to bend time and space. I'm going to get you out of space-time. I'm going to get you into the infinite field. I'm going to help you lose yourself and lose your identity. And what does that mean? It means a metamorphosis. So you can turn into the butterfly, the next version of the butterfly, because there's many more after that. And we need you. We need you to wake up. We need you to embody your beauty, despite what anybody else thinks. And so it might be hard. It was very difficult to live with a man I loved who was so angry with me, he wouldn't speak to me. And every single day I had to get up and make a choice to stay on that path, to not give up, to not give in, to, okay, fine, I'll call them up, I'll get a refund, I won't do this, it makes you unhappy. That inner heart, even though I didn't have the wisdom level I have now as a sage crone woman, was profound, because I listened every single day and chose again, selected again to listen to the inner voice, to let the anger or the fear or the drama or the war or whatever is going on around you in your life or that you're perceiving in the world. You do not have to buy into hell. You are here to create heaven, and only you can do it in your own life. And yes, it's not easy. And I was very alone. I had some local goddess women. I had a few spiritual friends. There was no internet. And that was the opportunity that there wasn't the opportunity that you have now to be in these circles. We have a WhatsApp chat that we talk all the time. If you're in a class or if you're a client or you're in the mastermind, we have these kind of communities and classes. You're not alone. And you're not doing anything wrong by listening to your heart. You're not doing anything wrong by wanting something better, wanting something different, and listening to the inner voice over all of the authorities that have been our gods. So don't make money your God. Don't make your external reality tell you. I went through a bankruptcy in my divorce. I had less than zero. And every time I looked at my bank account, my body got sick and my stomach sank. And I thought all these horrible things about myself. And I had to dig myself out of that with no support because my mother disowned me. And with my ex going crazy and blocking my real estate business, and just like insanity ensued. Okay. And I was gifted with a lot of opportunities to think I was a really horrible person. And if I had believed that, if I had stayed poor, then I don't know where my life would be. However, I had to get up every day and get the courage to say, I refuse to go get a regular job because it will suck my soul and I would rather die. I'm not telling you to do that. That's what I chose. And I started to go out there and find the people one at a time. And I had to control and master my emotions. And I had to master my mind. And I had to start to realize that the fear and the beliefs and the people were reflecting that fear and beliefs at me, and the perceived barriers. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. None of it was real. I manifested $10,000 in 4 days to pay my rent and other stuff from less than zero. I got up enough money to fly to an event so that I could be in person, that I might meet some clients and get some coaching, because I had never been able to afford to do that. But I only had the money to get there. I didn't have the money to get home, but I got on that plane. And what happened, not from desperation and forcing anybody, I got a client in the bus on the way from the airport. I got a client at lunch. We're all talking in a circle. A lady leans over and says, I need your card. Because someone asked me, oh, well, what's hypnosis and what do you do? And I was like, oh, this and that and the other thing. And she heard me. There is possibilities. There are people. There are avenues for money. There are avenues. You don't even need the money to go on a retreat. You could come up with that. I can tell you a million creative ways, but we're going to stop here. That thing you want can manifest. During my bankruptcy and my divorce, I had nothing. The beach heals me. I lived 3 hours from the beach. I wanted to go to the beach so bad. I didn't even have the money for gas. I kept saying, please, I want to manifest the money to go to the beach. I want to manifest the money to go to the beach. I want to manifest the money to go to the beach. All of a sudden, one day, my spirit guide said, stop asking for the money. The money isn't the part that gets you to the beach. It's you asking to be at the beach. It's you deciding to be at the beach. It's you seeing yourself at the beach. You have to bypass these things you perceive. Well, I need this person to give me permission to take time off from my life, and I need this person to give me permission to take care of my kids so that I can, be a free mother to go do something for myself once. I went to Egypt for 3.5 weeks, and my husband was pissed off. So I found everyone else to help take care of my kids. I didn't ask him to do a friggin' thing because I wasn't going to let him stop me again, and I wasn't going to burden him in the way that he could, say, that's not fair, I can't do it. Okay, you can't do it, I'll find someone else to do it. I didn't abandon my children. I let the universe line everything up. There was a war started, and I still got on that plane, and it was the most powerful thing I have ever done. I cannot tell you how powerful it is to get out of your life, to go on one of these retreats, to go to a sacred place. It changes your life forever. There's no way that it can't. Okay. All right. I love you all. Bye-bye. I have been through it. I have been through it and up and down. And that's why I am here being a guide, because I'm not just spouting out theory. Oh, I took a course 3 years ago and now I'm going to tell you how to do that course. No, That's not how I do it. I have been through the shit. I've made millions of dollars. I've lost it. I've been loved and showered with money, and I've been disowned. I was given up for adoption, and then I was adopted with great love, and then I was disowned, and now I'm back together. I had a daughter that I wanted for 8 years. It took me to get pregnant, and then she died, and then I adopted my twins, and I have, risen to the heights of certain businesses and spoke on stages and been on TV and lost that, and I've been through it all. So that's why when you come with me, I'm not going to feel sorry for you, and I'm not going to tell you bullshit lies, and I'm not going to ever judge you, because we're not here to be perfect. And your proof that you are good enough is not your status, your job, your house, your car, your husband, your wife, your money. Okay. I learned that what I saw in my bank account was not determining that there was no money. And that was a really powerful lesson, because I remember the day I needed to manifest $10,000 for some reason, or at least close to that, in a very short amount of time. And I looked at my bank account, and I had finally walked through that pain and walked through and done my job and took all my training, and I kept releasing the pain and the fear and letting it move through me and accepting it and doing all the other alchemy kind of work that I teach you. And then I realized, before even thinking, I looked at my bank account, I had negative $10, I owed $10,000. And instead of feeling sick to my stomach and walking through the day like, oh, what am I going to do? I found myself standing on my balcony, looking out over the lake, going, where is the money? Where is somebody? How can I give value to someone? It's here. There it is. There it is. There it is. I know it's here. I know it's here. I know it's here. I know it's here. And it changed my life, because not only did about $15,000 come in, I did a retreat. I started my first mastermind. I started making a large amount of money every month for a while. And it was transformational that just happened so quickly, that it wasn't go get a job for 6 years and save your money. That's one way to do it. It's the old Newtonian physics ways of doing it. We're in the world of magic. Okay, everyone. Love you. Bye-bye.